And then we've also seen stills of a map hanging from the side of an investigative vehicle.
Police also searched a septic tank and a manhole at Nancy Guthrie's home on Sunday. The Seahawks are the new Super Bowl champs. More from Fox's Greg Thompson.
A 29-13 win for the Seattle Seahawks over the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60. And Seattle's defense, which was nicknamed the Dark Side, was the difference, forcing 3 turnovers, including returning an interception for a touchdown late to seal it. Now, that side of the ball was led by head coach Mike McDonald, who was calling the plays. And at 38 years old, he becomes the 3rd youngest head coach ever to win a Super Bowl. As for Seattle's offense, most of it came from kicker Jason Myers, who set a new Super Bowl record by making 5 field goals, as well as running back Kenneth Walker, who carried the ball 27 times for 135 yards, along with 26 yards receiving, on the way to taking home MVP honors, as the Seahawks hoist the Lombardi Trophy for the 2nd time in franchise history. Greg Thompson, Fox News.
And President Trump weighing in on the Super Bowl halftime show, blasting the performance by Bad Bunny on Truth Social, calling it, quote, absolutely terrible and one of the worst ever. He says it was a slap in the face to the country, adding it made no sense, saying no one understands the word the guy is saying. America's listening to Fox News.
Let me share Brian's story. He's in Alabama, and he wrote in, he said, Glenn, after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and I am amazed at the relief that I have gotten. Those are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do. And I've seen that kind of transformation in myself, and hearing Brian's experience reinforces why I take endorsing Relief Factor so seriously. Before I started taking Relief Factor myself, I was losing hope that I could ever have a normal life again. My hands were in so much pain. It's created by doctors, a 100% drug-free product using 4 key ingredients. It supports the body's natural inflammatory response. Hundreds of thousands of people have ordered Relief Factor, and like Brian and me, over 2/3 of these people go on to order more month after month. So don't wait. If you're dealing with pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Call 800-4RELIEF or go to relieffactor.com. Don't wait anymore. Feel what it's like to be out of pain. 1-800-4-RELIEF.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Subaru of Gwinnett. You'll love the difference. The Morning Extra, only on Extra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los with you on Monday. We're getting the work week underway. Plenty to talk about, from sports and the Super Bowl to everything that's happening in politics in the United States, here in the state of Georgia, around the world for that matter, Los.
The argument has always been that this is supposed to be the national holiday after the Super Bowl.
Yes, that's right.
But that's only, I believe, if you have an amazing Super Bowl that causes you to have stayed up late and do some drinking and some eating and everything else. I went to bed at a decent hour.
Dude, I had one drink. I had
more than that.
Literally had one. I didn't even finish the second one. I mean, I got served the second one. I just didn't finish it. But I was in bed in the fourth quarter. I mean, there was 3 minutes. I think there's 3 minutes left in the third, and I was, all right, I've had plenty. I've seen enough.
We had a house party in the neighborhood.
Okay.
And there was one Patriots fan there. Now, He had his sweet daughters. They were younger than mine, and they were all in Patriots gear.
Yeah.
And he was asking who else was going to be rooting with him. And by the end of the party, and I did not partake in this, but the amount of shots this man was taking from his friends about, hey, do you know that you've now lost the most amount of Super Bowls in Super Bowl history? Hey, did your quarterback really just get sacked for a 6th time?
Yeah.
Are y'all going to score? It was one after another another.
Poor man.
But, I mean, let's face it, especially around here, there's enough history with the Patriots. There's no love lost when you get whooped. And they got whooped.
And it was funny. In the pre-game interviews, Darnold seemed fine. You know, he seemed set, locked in, comfortable. Poor Drake May looked like it was he was getting sent to the principal's office or something. His interview was so tight. I'll just focus on the game. There was he looked terrified.
Well, you knew what you were going to face. You were going to face the league's nastiest defense, and it looked like it.
And it did. And they did.
It was fairly certain that's what happened. I was very adamant going into this game and 2 weeks ago. I believe we saw the Super Bowl in Seattle 2 weeks ago when it was the Rams and the Seahawks.
Yeah, great game.
And I think that's the way it played out from what we saw in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. There was the interest in the commercials was there. I thought the Budweiser ad was really good. I'd seen it ahead of time with the eagle on the horse's back. It was so. It was good, and I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I like the sentiment of it. It came off a little contrived to me, but I like where their heads. I like what they're trying to do.
All right, so here was the problem of what I ran into. So I'm in this house. There's probably 30 people there between kids and adults, and
can't hear a thing.
Couldn't hear one commercial. Now here's the other part of this. The only thing we could hear was halftime.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because that was when everybody got quiet.
Just to see how. Do you think it was just to see everybody's reaction? They didn't know whether to celebrate or to downplay it? People weren't sure how to behave?
Well, I think we're conditioned to, all right, now let's watch the halftime show.
Got it.
So everyone gets to their little comfy spot and let's go watch the halftime show. So the only thing that I could understand over the first 3 hours of the broadcast
right.
was the one thing that I couldn't understand.
Right.
Do you realize how ridiculously dumb that sounds? That I couldn't hear one commercial, one play-by-play call, any of that, because the house was so loud watching football that when it quieted down, then no one could understand. At least not in that house.
So we were at a neighbor's house. They just last minute invited us over. So we wandered over and one other family came. Most of them all kind of feel the same way we did. I didn't know what they were going to do with the halftime. I had no idea. But as soon as the clock was winding down and their head, dude, they had already changed it and had YouTube up on the main TV. So the three families watched the turning point, and I had already put it on my phone because I didn't know what they're going to do, right? So I just wanted to see, okay, what does this look like? And I've got some detailed information about where it was filmed, when it was filmed, and it's connected to Atlanta, Georgia. Tell you that in the 7 o'clock hour, long tease. So I had it up on my phone, and I just kept seeing the numbers grow and grow and grow. The last number I saw was about 5.1 million.
All right.
That was YouTube alone.
As of this morning, it was 6.6.
Is that okay? 6.6.
So here was my end of it.
Okay.
Because I'm in a house with, again, about 30 people, and I would say most of the adults are not overly political. They're certainly not overtly political.
Sure.
And as things are getting cranked up,
by the way,
one person says, hey, isn't there like another broadcast of like something else that's going on?
Something different.
And I get like a couple looks over at me, and I was like, yeah, Turning Point USA is doing a different show. And the next question is, oh, where are they doing it on? I go, it's on YouTube on their channel. We are about 3 or 4 minutes into that halftime, and I have more people looking at me like, hey, do you know how to flip this thing over?
Can you help us figure it out?
Yeah, it was this weird feeling in the room of none of us know any of this. Visually, all right, fine, but you can't understand any of it.
Yeah.
You have an American audience of about 120 million people for the Super Bowl. The way I put it on X last night, the reason why our sister station doesn't cover Japanese curling,
I saw that,
is
on
because
a Southern Sports Radio
because you ain't going to understand it.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to try to reach the biggest audience I possibly can all the time.
Yeah.
And you actually created a program in which, let me be like nice about it, 10% of your audience could understand?
Yeah, probably so. And then you encouraged, I don't know what the percentage is, but you encouraged 6, whatever the number was that you said.
Which you successfully, Turning Point USA successfully counter-programmed the Super Bowl. The left can say all they want. There's not one thing they can do that's going to garner 5 million people during the Super Bowl to tune away from the Super Bowl, typically.
Dude, you're exactly right.
That's not a small number. The NFL would be horribly pissed about it.
So that's the rumor is that the NFL is furious.
They should
about
be.
that. Yeah, they should be. But they did it themselves.
Yeah, you picked it.
He was like, here's my foot, and here's the gun. Why don't I shoot it?
I mean, if we're talking 5,000 people, 10,000 people that they counter-programmed and that's how many tune in, okay, that's a failure and the Super Bowl is not concerned. 5 million people. And this is where the left, especially those that were talking about this last night, they don't understand the NFL and they don't understand numbers. If they're like, look, the Super Bowl did 120 million people. Yeah, but the Super Bowl is telling the audience and spending money in terms of what they're bringing in, telling as long as we have a game, there's a captive audience, and for the next 4 to 5 hours, we're charging this premium rate because no one's going anywhere.
And why would they? It's the Super Bowl.
5 million people did, including the house you were at,
Yeah.
and the house that I was at was asking how we were supposed to do it.
It was funny. It wasn't even brought up. It was just done. It was just thrown up on the screen like they had been planning it the whole time. My bud was just like, and just like you're saying, man, these two families are hanging out with aren't blatantly, overtly political. Do they keep up? Do they vote? Yes. But do they watch it every day on social media or on the news? Absolutely not. And they were so inclined to do exactly what you said. Tune away from the biggest event. I mean, arguably the biggest TV event of the year every year.
So the room I'm in, it was so strange because people are looking around trying
It's
to...
Monday, February 9th, and here
Trying to
are
wonder
your
who else
headlines.
is not digging this.
Yeah, right.
North Cobb
Hey,
Christian
is that
School is
Lady
highlighting
Gaga?
a new education tax
Okay.
program that will allow donors to
All
send
right.
money towards
Oh,
scholarship
look.
for students while receiving a
I
state
didn't even
tax
know Lady
credit.
Gaga until I saw
Leaders
it
say the
afterwards
change
on
will
Twitter. I
expand-
had no idea.
Had no idea.
We didn't watch.
School leaders
Okay,
say
so
the
we
change
did.
will expand access and help
And
families
again, I
afford
run a lot of
private
this by
education,
my
and they're
15-year-old
encouraging
daughter.
community support for the program as
She's
it
like,
rolls out.
I didn't even like when she came on.
Former
Like, I
Atlanta
thought
Braves
she was
outfielder
singing, and I didn't
Don
really like
Baylor,
the song.
known
And
for his powerful bat
okay,
and leadership
she's
during
15.
his
This is
major
who
league
this is
career
supposed to be
has
for.
died unexpectedly,
All right, this is
shocking
where this
fans
is geared
across the
towards.
baseball
You're
community. Baylor,
creating
who
a
played for
new
multiple
generation
teams,
of
including the
people
Braves,
that
was
will
celebrated
search it
for his
out
offensive
later.
prowess
Later.
and
The
mentoring
only
a role with
person
younger players throughout
in
his
our
career.
building that I know who liked it only liked it because he knows the music and his wife speaks Spanish. Okay? So
Right.
out of the however so many employees that Dickey Broadcasting has, one of them was talking about how awesome it was.
Yeah.
Because he happens to be that minority that they were able to grab.
Yeah. Good. I guess good for them. Or is it a learning lesson? Is it a learning lesson for the NFL, or will they just dismiss this?
Yeah, next year, that's why you're going to end up getting something
Big Paul
completely.
McCartney.
Yeah, it's going to be completely the other direction. They're going to be like, because right now, I guarantee you in the league offices, somebody is having to answer to Roger Goodell. He's like, who brought somebody here who just performed in Spanish the entire time?
Yeah.
And Goodell will put a happy face on it.
Oh, sure he will.
Hey,
He's
no, it was
smart.
a great performance and it was awesome. No, he's going to say, you jokers managed to lose us because we're able to look at the numbers. 5 to 6 million in audience that we told Pepsi and everybody else
Man,
they'll
Pepsi.
never tune away. That's why they're spending what they're spending.
Babylon B. I don't know if you saw this post, but I thought it was funny, and they always do good work. NBC suffers a bizarre technical glitch as the entire halftime show was broadcast in Spanish. and it's exactly right. It's what everybody was thinking.
And the whole, from the left, because the left knows that this is a screw up on their part.
Yeah, sure.
They know it's a screw up. And so now they're doing the whole, anyone who's complaining about it is moral, it's a moral outrage.
Yep.
No, it's because they couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's really simple.
The number one, if we were to go at the box office and find the number one foreign language film, you know why you're not going to watch it? Because you're not going to understand it. Okay?
Yeah.
That's why you're going to end up watching Billy Madison again for the 20th time.
Can we go back to, just because we're on this topic, let's go back to 2020, as much as it hurts.
All right, back in the mindset of being the black sheep.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
I got all these people saying the same thing, and then there's me.
Yes. If you recall, during that halftime show, 2 Latinas were on stage.
Yeah, and they did something that all of us understood.
They sure did. But it's interesting.
Because they shook it.
That's exactly right. Because they sung some in Spanish too, but not the majority.
No.
And then they shook it like a Polaroid picture. Hey, ya.
Yeah. That, going back to what we saw then, every red-blooded American went, ooh, there weren't. Now, I'm not being like morally outraged about it, but I'm sorry. When you got dudes grinding dudes at the Super Bowl, where what you have is a bunch of men trying to tear each other's heads off, and then you're like, by the way, at halftime, there's going to be a couple of guys grinding on each other, just, in a quick shot.
You'll love it.
You won't really even notice it until you do. All right. Right place, right time. I mean, again, give me Shakira.
Absolutely.
Shaking it.
Former Braves player passed
and giving me a
away.
little tiny bit of Spanish
Absolutely.
Braves
lingo.
player.
Exactly, dude.
Nothing wrong
Former
with
Atlanta
this.
Braves
That's
players
exactly
died
right.
unexpectedly
But
at the age of
that's the big
34.
difference.
The Braves confirmed
right?
the death of Georgia native Terrence
That's
Gore,
the
who also played for the
it's
Royals,
funny
Dodgers,
because
Cubs,
Jacob
and Mets.
was, let's see,
known as
2020,
baseball's
that was, what, 6
known as
years
one of-
ago?
known as one of-
he was
known as one
you
of
know,
baseball's
16,
fastest players. Gore was a key part of Kansas
walks
City's 2015
upstairs.
World Series and built a
We were at
career as
friend's
an elite
house. They
bench runner.
all him and his
postseason
buddies,
base stealing
all
threat.
the kids his
And
age
finally,
were
Georgia
watching him in
lawmakers have
baseball.
introduced a bill targeting high
He
school.
and about 3 or 4, 5.
And finally, Georgia
those buddies
lawmakers have
came
introduced a
upstairs
bill
and
targeting high school
Dad,
athlete
before this,
name,
did you
image,
know
and
Shakira
likeness
I
deals.
said, yeah, buddy, I did.
Yeah.
Aiming to
Yes,
regulate
it's
how
like,
student athletes can profit in the state.
16-year-old
The
boy.
proposal would set clear
Good
rules and
heavens.
protections for
Never
schools
seen
and
anything
players,
like this.
balancing opportunities
Exactly right.
with
He was-
fairness
and then the
education
follow-
Been doing this for
priorities.
20 years, son.
Right.
It is
And
whether
then
it's
the
partly
follow-up
cloudy with a
question
high of 64 and a
how old
low
is she?
44. Direction 163 headlines.
How old
I'm
is
Bryce
Jennifer
Gobert.
Lopez?
Yes.
And then I lay them, they're like, no way.
Like-
There's no way that they're that age. They look ageless. They look timeless. Like 6 boys were just tongue hanging out, jaw on the table.
All right, so we had a room
The
where
difference.
there was probably 4 or 5 boys all about that, right in that age range. Not one of them was locked into anything that was
No.
going on with that.
No. Because what would encourage them to? I mean, nothing.
I'm just wondering that you try. All right. So one of the things that we try and do is we try and talk about topics that are going to cast as wide a net as possible and it's going to grab as many people as possible. It's the reason why we don't talk about what the city council in Dahlonega is doing. Okay? It's just not going to register.
It's just not enough people
No.
to interest.
Here, Valdosta is thinking about changing something with their football program. Okay, which just there's not enough. The Super Bowl actually said, what is the smallest amount we can reach?
Yeah.
And you can tell me all about how, well, they're trying to reach a new and different audience at the price of your own.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not good business sense.
And even if it was something you'd never heard of, like last year with Kendrick Lamar, I sat back and I said, I know 3 or 4 of these songs, but I could also understand every one of those songs.
Like if I wanted to engage with it, if I
Right.
chose to engage with
You
it.
actually decided to go, hey, how can we make it a little bit more out there? Let's have it all in Spanish.
Do you think? Well, actually, I guess the better is, what do you think? Like, who went to Roger Goodell and was like, "Hey, boss, I got this idea."
Listen, these are the amount of downloads. And you know what? The downloads would have been like, oh, tell me more.
Yeah.
At a certain point, then nobody said, and by the way, everything's in Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised, but not surprised. The thing that I'm least surprised about is how good Turning Point and their viewership was. That I'm not surprised about at all.
So I watched it this morning because I didn't want to be ignorant about it. It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. It was solid.
Yeah, but it wasn't like something. If it weren't there, if there wasn't like the political angle, people choosing to do it just to tell the NFL to send a message.
Yes,
because that's the reason people tuned in.
And it wasn't. And this is the way I thought about it after I was getting gas in the morning. I was trying to think of like, you know how a church camp production isn't the same as like regular camp production?
Of course.
There's a little something missing.
Yes.
Okay, that's what my concern was. It wasn't that.
No,
it was a
right.
total professional
I agree.
production and well
Absolutely.
done.
Yeah.
I was like, that was well done.
And done just south of Atlanta. Tell you that. And we'll give you the full scoop there at 7 this morning if you're hanging around with us on Extra 106.3. Green Day, any thoughts there? Because I've not been a fan of theirs in years and years. And
No
years.
surprise that for Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, saying that this is not going to be about politics.
Yeah.
Billy Joe got up on stage and it was immediately about politics.
Yeah, right. Of course.
I was like, it's not even worth. We didn't even decide to play the audio only because he's ranting and raving about ICE and when this is done, you want to be on the right side of history. Like, dude, just sing your song.
Yeah, just sing and shut up.
Just sing your song.
And shut up. Yeah, I've not listened to him in many years for that reason. Anyway, 6 o'clock hour is brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. More of this discussion later. I'd love to know what you think about it. At 404-741-1230, at Extra 1063 across the social media platforms. Was there evidence to investigate election fraud in Georgia back in 2020? Yes. Why, yes, there was. So why wasn't it investigated? We will explain it to you next on Extra.
Fighting the communists with truth every day on the only conservative news and talk station in Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPs, etc.com.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
Georgia Tech women's basketball is taking on ACC rival Louisville on Thursday, February 26th at 7 p.m. in the Thriller Dome.
Walker with her team trailing by 2. Down to the side of the lane for Turnage. Backdoor touchdown into Foster. Layup good. Snoop Turnage is a magician. Foster finishes beautifully. 8 of her 18 points.
Get your seats now at RamlinRec.com/tickets. Sting 'em.
A new year means new opportunities to secure your retirement goals. At Master Plan Retirement Consultants, we help you start fresh with holistic retirement planning to create a personalized retirement roadmap designed with you and for you. Our boutique team serves you with fiduciary care, ensuring every step moves you closer to a confident, sustainable retirement. As we all know, the best retirement asset is peace of mind. Make 2026 the year you take control with confidence. Schedule your complimentary consultation today at masterplanretire.com. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Military Matters.
The New START Treaty, the last remaining arms control treaty between the U.S. and Russia, expired Thursday. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev calls the decision regrettable. The Trump administration decided not to negotiate or sign a one-year extension. Retired Admiral Charles Richard oversaw America's nuclear stockpile.
Russia has been very successful at adding capability that is not covered by the treaty.
Russia will now start mounting additional warheads on its long-range missiles, warns Rose Gottemoeller, who negotiated the original treaty.
Refusing the one-year extension on New START limits gives Putin an easy diplomatic win that should have been the president's.
New START capped the number of deployed nuclear warheads to 1,550 for each side and enabled on-site inspections. Russia halted inspections in 2023, but kept to warhead limits. A new arms race is likely without the New START treaty. For Military Matters in Washington, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Monday, February 9th, and here are your headlines. North Cobb Christian School is highlighting a new education tax program that will allow donors to send money towards scholarships for students while receiving a state tax credit. School leaders say the change will expand access and help families afford private education, and they're encouraging community support for the program as it rolls out. A former Atlanta Braves player has died unexpectedly at the age of 34. The Braves confirmed the death of Georgia native Terrence Gore, who also played for the Royals, Dodgers, Cubs, and Mets. Known as one of baseball's fastest players, Gore was a key part of Kansas City's 2015 World Series and built a career as an elite pinch runner and postseason base stealing threat. And finally, Georgia lawmakers have introduced a bill targeting high school athlete name, image, and likeness deals, aiming to regulate how student athletes can profit in the state. Sponsors say the proposal would set clear rules and protections for schools and players, balancing opportunities with fairness and educational priorities. Today's weather is partly cloudy with a high of 64 and a low of 44. With the Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los on Extra 106.3. There's something that came down yesterday, and Los and I were reading about it. And then yesterday, it also got a lot of steam picked up by Rasmussen and so many other outlets.
It's Monday, February 9th, and here are your headlines. North Cobb Christian School is highlighting a new education tax program that will allow donors to send money towards scholarships for students while receiving a state tax credit. School leaders say the change will expand access and help families afford private education, and they're encouraging community support for the program as it rolls out. A former Atlanta Braves player has died unexpectedly at the age of 34. The Braves confirmed the death of Georgia native Terrence Gore, who also played for the Royals, Dodgers, Cubs, and Mets. Known as one of baseball's fastest players, Gore was a key part of Kansas City's 2015 World Series and built a career as an elite pinch runner and postseason base stealing threat. And finally, Georgia lawmakers have introduced a bill targeting high school athlete name, image, and likeness deals, aiming to regulate how student athletes can profit in the state. Sponsors say the proposal would set clear rules and protections for schools and players, balancing opportunities with fairness and educational priorities. Today's weather is partly cloudy with a high of 64 and a low of 44. With the Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los on Extra 106.3. There's something that came down yesterday, and Los and I were reading about it. And then yesterday, it also got a lot of steam picked up by Rasmussen and so many other outlets. And it is the unsealed grand jury testimony. Remember when Liberal John called yesterday? It was later in the show. If you're part of the 4-Hour Club, you definitely remember. He was asking, well...
No, he was telling us.
He was telling us. He was like, you know that it was Republicans who told Donald Trump he had lost the election of 2020. And we're like, John, yes. Yeah, we definitely know.
We were like, yeah, the establishment made sure, as we're now finding out more and more, that obviously you facilitated an FBI raid off of this. And then you had the director of national security who was in town and made it a point to be here for all of this. Everyone is well aware that the establishment Republicans in this state wanted to make sure that Donald Trump knew he lost this state.
Absolutely right. And you're trying to figure out why. Like, what's the reason behind it? So let's walk you through some of the reason behind it. Because we know the establishment hates Donald Trump just like the Democrats hate Donald Trump. And when you look at what happened, this testimony from the grand jury, former Senator David Perdue said he was told by the head of the GBI at the time, Vic Reynolds, not to investigate the ballot harvesting operation that was happening in Georgia. Perdue, under oath, said that Reynolds told him there was compelling evidence to investigate, but he was a team player, and he was asked to stand down by Governor Brian Kemp.
Now, let's point something out here. This grand jury testimony and the people that are questioning him are part of Fonnie Willis's group.
Nathan Wade is actually the person asking the question.
Because he was working 22 out of 24 hours a day for Fulton County.
That's
right.
So they said.
So that's the group that's questioning. The problem they ran into here is they were trying to build a case as to why they should be going after Donald Trump. What they found out, and was sealed, was that the Republican Party already knew what had gone on.
And they squashed it. Later on, Reynolds was appointed a Superior Court judge. That was in June of 2022.
Which David Perdue, as he pointed it out, you're a team player, and this was your reward.
This this is one of those things where when you look at it, if you take a step back, if there was compelling evidence to do an investigation, that means the RICO case against Donald Trump should have never happened. There was evidence of impropriety. And then when Trump made that call to Brad Raffensperger, it was completely legitimate because they already knew something was going on. There was enough evidence, according to this grand jury testimony, under oath. There was already enough evidence to establish something had gone wrong. You've been told for 5 years that you've got a tinfoil hat. There's nothing to see here. And now all of a sudden, another tinfoil hat accusation has fallen. And it seems that you'd be right again.
Now, let's play this out in a different direction. You might ask the question, well, why didn't Brian Kemp pursue this? Part of the reason why is you don't have a political future if you go after a former president. You can let the other side do it, which they were more than happy
to do.
To let that happen. But the Republicans were not going to do it.
No.
But they were also more than happy to just let it be.
We've brought something else up a million times, if you recall, on the morning of November 4th, 2020, when Brad Raffensperger said Georgia led by 103 votes with only 94,000 votes left. 4 days later, there were more than 300,000 ballots, including 148,000 absentee ballots from Fulton County. That's 25,535 more ballots than voters, more than double Biden's margin. These numbers are insane. And now you wonder why that the FBI raided the Fulton County election office? We now know. If all of this is true, and it was testified under oath, if all this is true, this is the most damning thing that's happened in the state of Georgia ever.
The fact that and again, grand jury testimony fact, okay, this is testimony, that the GBI was told to stand down. Don't look into any of this. Now, again, like I said, there's a multitude of angles here. Is that Brian Kemp trying to protect Donald Trump? Or is that Brian Kemp looking to say, got him?
Hard to tell.
Hard to tell.
Hard to know.
And
but
quite honestly,
look good.
But the establishment didn't want to be in the place.
It didn't. It doesn't look good, dude.
I mean, think about what's happened with somebody like Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney's name is Mud. All right? Like, Liz Cheney was supposed to be one of those people that stayed in Congress for 40 years, and she was going to be royalty as the daughter of someone who had been a vice president and had committed his life a large amount to public service. Now it's mud because of what she did. I don't think any establishment Republican wanted to help Donald Trump, but they also didn't publicly want to hurt Donald Trump.
You couldn't publicly.
You had to play it.
You had to play that
smart.
And when they had the opportunity to finish him off, it would appear, based on this testimony under oath from David Perdue, we had the ability to off Donald Trump, to get rid of him for everybody. None of the establishment, Democrat, Republican, none of the establishment wanted him. We can bury him here, is what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And that's what they decided to do, or that's what it appears they decided to do.
The grand mistake, outside of allowing 20 million people into the country, grand mistake here was that you had Democrats that campaigned off to try and go for Trump. I'm gonna put him in prison. You're the ones that revitalized everything for him. So had we never found out about this, that the GBI was told to stand down, and that the director of the GBI then gets a deal to be a judge moving forward, and that David Perdue, according to grand jury testimony, was making the point that that was a reward for being a team player, we only found that out because the Democrats couldn't stand down. They couldn't leave it alone.
Yeah.
And because of the mugshot and because of their crazy cases that they put together, that's what revitalized Donald Trump and the entirety of the movement. Has nothing to do with us. It's all to do with them. It's their own fault. They've got 3 more years of this because of this.
And it could have been done and over with. I was jaw on the table when I read this because we've been told for 5 years that we're crazy, that nothing happened. It's all you. It's all you. You're imagining things. This has been asked and answered in court, but has it? Because I would say we're just now finding out some of the things that we could have brought up in actual court court setting.
And again, the case is dead. That's why you're now finding this out basically 4 years later.
And do you wonder if there's a little bit of them that were like, whew, it's a good thing this case is dead, because if they went into discovery, look what they would have discovered.
Look what had this become public knowledge
at the time.
Yeah. Let's say in 2022. You realize how it just changes the math on all of this stuff. Suddenly those January 6 people, they're not nuts.
Mm-mm.
They knew something was wrong. I've brought that up in the past. I'm like, they were some of the only patriots that showed up in Washington. They're like, you're stealing the election. And they were right.
And that's why they were treated the way they were.
Yes.
It was
because they knew this was stolen.
It was all part of the operation.
And since we're on this whole, teat for tat thing, because the left feels like it's more than comfortable with assaulting ICE officers. Well, what line am I supposed to draw to protect the Republic? I mean, you're calling me a Nazi, and those that believe in what I do and do what I do were Nazis, so that you can use whatever kind of violence against us you want. Well, what if I'm telling you that you tried to take down the Republic? Because you did. You tried.
And almost succeeded. Almost.
That's what
the truth actually matters.
Yeah.
The truth actually matters, and that's why the Republic was able to shake this off, to fend this off, to make this last. Over 133,000 ballot images were deleted. 0 of 148 Fulton County tabulators had the required tapes. Nearly 7,000 fictitious ballots remain certified, and no one investigated it. Unbelievable that this happened in your backyard, in the county that I live in. This is how dirty, filthy things were on both sides. So when Liberal John calls and says it was the Republicans, yeah, John.
Yeah, it was.
It sure was.
It was the establishment that were...
They were more than happy.
No interest in making sure this man stayed in power.
More than happy. To allow it to happen. And you
realize how hard that is to explain to people, that there is a faction of different parties within parties?
The Uniparty. That's what it is.
Yes.
We've called it the Uniparty forever.
That there are Republicans and Democrats that share power, that pass it back and forth, that act like they're adversaries. They're not. And the biggest threat to them are outsiders on either end.
And they may have differences of opinion on a few policy things.
I'll give you a perfect example, Tug. Bernie Sanders has been leading a multitude of Democrat primaries, and both times they're like, he's got to go.
He's got to go.
We got to get rid of him.
We're not going.
We can't win nationally with this guy.
He can't be the face. He can't be the face. And
they didn't even have a primary this time around.
Right, exactly. Crazy thing is, I wonder what happens this time, because the party is so much different than the last 2 cycles. Now the party looks more like Bernie Sanders. Does he take the people that won't get in line with their socialist communist views and say, y'all are out?
That's what I would imagine.
That's good. That's going to be the interesting thing, to see how this plays when we get closer to the midterms, and then especially 2028.
And that is why, and we go back to it, that's why voter ID laws are such a big deal, because the communists only win by cheating. They can't win a multitude of this country. They can win little areas. You can even bring up New York. In the big scheme of things, New York is a little area. You're the mayor of New York. All right, you got the city. You don't have anything statewide.
Yeah.
It's like they can't win bigger things unless they cheat.
And they will. They've proven it. They will. So does that lead them?
I already saw this here.
Yeah. Does that lead them?
And the establishment Republicans knew it too.
And we're just fine with it. No investigation. No one investigated. According to David Perdue, because he was told to stand down and he was going to be a good teammate. Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 1063 when we get back. If you and the family hit Chipotle, like after school, maybe after practice, I've got some news for you. They are on the prowl for the middle class. I'll explain next.
I got much to say here.
Yeah, dude, I think a lot of people is going to have a lot of reaction to this next segment. Because it affects your pocketbook so incredibly. Next on the Morning Extra.
Extra 1063 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Monday, February 9th. The Seattle Seahawks are the Super Bowl champions after beating the New England Patriots 29-13 last night. Running back Kenneth Walker was named the game's MVP after rushing for 135 yards. Kicker Jason Myers set a Super Bowl record, hitting 5 field goals in the game. The Seattle Seahawks defense sacked Patriots quarterback Drake May 6 times in the ball game. Over the weekend around the NFL, Atlanta Falcons pass rusher James Pierce Jr. arrested in Florida on a multitude of charges, including 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated stalking, fleeing or eluding police, and resisting an officer. The incident stems from a domestic violence dispute in which Pierce Jr. reportedly crashed his car into his ex-girlfriend's car a multitude of times. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
On Facebook the other day, you can find me at Tug Cowart. Easy to communicate with me there. Love to hear from you, as a matter of fact. I'd seen somebody that posted on our neighborhood Facebook page, hey, have an issue with my heating. Can you recommend a company? And there are a few people that had recommended, a handful of people, different whomever, and so I put in there, hey, Chuck and his team at Central Heating and Air Conditioning always takes care of us, and I think they'll take care of you. Person got back to me and was like, how many times have you used them? I was like, oh, for years. She's like, okay, I've heard about them, but this will be the first time. Think I'm going to get them a call. Great. Turns out they did, and everything went just swimmingly, which is great. It's what you expect when you call Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Chuck and his team to show up, give you the lowest pricing of the year. Right now, 29th Annual Winter White Sale's going on. Everything's on sale, heating, cooling. Those home performance solutions to make sure the air that you breathe inside your home and your family breathes is as clean and as healthy as it possibly can be. 79 years of experience. Not just today will your equipment work, but they can maintain it to make it last for years to come. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, delivering carrier comfort for the world we share.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
We found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. The honest car guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Fox News Podcast.
On a recent episode of Lighthouse Faith, Fox News religion correspondent Lauren Green discussed Christian persecution in Nigeria with CEO and founder of Across Nigeria, Brad Brandon.
We know that Christians are being killed and slaughtered in this region of Nigeria. What's really going on here?
Christians are inordinately targeted in northern Nigeria. Almost 5 times more likely to be killed if you're a Christian. 60,000 Christians since 2009. 3 million Christians displaced throughout the region. So it's a huge problem.
Brandon talked about his group's mission to raise awareness and bring peace to the region.
We do peace tours where we bring Fulani Muslim communities together with Christian communities, and we talk to them about the value of peace. We talk to them about the cost of violence. We talk to them about conflict resolution.
For more of this episode or our other podcasts, go to Fox News Podcast newspodcasts.com. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
It's February 9th, and this is your Fox Deli Snapshot. Today is National Pizza Day, so get your za on and put your favorite toppings on your pie. Did you know over 3 billion pizzas are sold each year in the U.S., 4 billion if you include frozen pies. Also on this day in 1895, the sport of mintonette was invented by William G. Morgan in Massachusetts. The game continues to be played around the world by its more common name, volleyball. The Beatles made their debut in The Ed Sullivan Show in 1964. Was viewed by nearly 74 million people. In 1971, pitcher Leroy Satchel Paige became the first Negro League player to be inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame. Born on this day, singer-songwriter Carole King in 1942. Actor Joe Pesci, born in 1943. Former Mets outfielder and leadoff hitter, the One Dog, Mookie Wilson, born in 1952. I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
Georgia politicians, if you want to win your election, the path to victory runs through Extra 106.3. Extra listeners are some of the most engaged, active in their communities, and outspoken on their beliefs, especially when it comes time to vote. Tell the candidate you're voting for that if they want to win, the path to victory runs through Extra 106.3 FM. Just email sales at extra1063.com to get involved. That's sales at xtra1063.com.
Tug and Los on Extra. Good morning. 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. I'm guessing if you're like my family, if you're on the go, there may be one particular restaurant that you stop into. Maybe it's after school, you headed to ball practice, or maybe it's after ball practice. But what if, let's set up a scenario, what if you really like this restaurant, but you learned they were gouging the daylights out of you and plan to continue doing it? Would you continue going there? I mean, I believe some people probably would. I think there'd be other people going, wait a minute, you're raising the prices even though, like, you're just artificially raising the prices consistently because you think I'm fine with paying for it.
4 years ago, we would eat at this place much more on the regular. We scaled it back, not for the kids. Like, the kids still like, oh, they eat something quick.
Yeah.
But this particular restaurant, I started taking pictures of the product just so I could make the comparison and say, why do I have like 10 to 15% less burrito than I did like a year or two ago?
So this is something you've noticed before.
I have posted about this before. So when you brought it up,
interesting.
I was being given less burrito at Chipotle in recent years, and I started to notice because I am a connoisseur of the burrito.
Dude.
Okay? I don't know Spanish. I can't help you with Bad Bunny. I'll tell you about a burrito.
This guy, Los, eats burritos for breakfast.
Yes.
The next morning, like, he'll have
the tofu burrito with a lot of hot sauce. The tofu burrito and me are friends, and they have a product that when me and my wife first went vegan, they were one of the only places that you could go to where they had a product that you could have that was non-meat, that wasn't making, me sick and her getting, some of the issues she had. So we would go Chipotle. And then we noticed it started getting smaller.
Yes. So I haven't noticed that as much, but I just didn't pay attention, whatever it is.
Maybe I always have to ask for, like, hey, do you mind just putting a little more?
Yeah, a little extra. We've done that.
It's pretty much a every time
you go.
Now.
The last time me and my son went, before he went back to school, was one of those times that I had to ask. I was like, because I got like a steak burrito or steak or something, and I was like, good Lord. Like, I get more at Taco Bell.
They're stingy with the meat.
Absolutely. So enter Scott Boatwright. He's a guy that you probably won't recognize his name, but I'll tell you that he is the CEO. Scott Boatwright was recorded, and I'm sure this wasn't like something that, was somebody was trying to hold the phone under the desk to record. I'm sure all the earnings calls are recorded. But he basically said, we're going to keep raising the prices because we think our customer base is fairly wealthy and will continue paying it.
We learned that 60% of our core users are over $100,000 a year in income, in average household income. That gives us confidence that we can lean into that group in a more meaningful way, whether it's the solo occasion and or group occasions, to really drive meaningful transaction performance in the year.
We can lean into that. That's code for we're going to screw you.
I get it. If you were able to recognize what your demo is, well, then you take advantage of your demo. All I'm pointing out is that I know they have been for a number of years because my burrito kept getting smaller.
And your price kept going up. I just looked at it was from 2020, I believe. I just did a quick search on X for Chipotle just to see if there was anybody else talking about it, noticing. And somebody had posted their receipt that they had found from 2020 and then next to one today, and it was exponentially more. You're like, well, I know things have gone up, and I'm not saying you can't raise prices. And look, you're there to make a profit. I get it. But when you come out on your earnings call and say, I know we can continue screwing these people, they'll just let us. Well, I do think at some point people are going to be like, I think I've had plenty of that.
There's a price point that's going to cut off the market share. They're not there yet. And that's what he's saying. And that's, again, that's capitalism because I keep going.
Sure.
Now, if I have choices in the area, it's like fifth.
See? That's what I'm saying.
But that's the adjustment that's happened to me.
Right. And you've already made the adjustment.
But what they have done, and this is to counter that, in the same way that you might look at a burger and go, you know what? That Five Guys burger or whatever happens to be worth it. But McDonald's on every corner.
Yeah.
And that's what Chipotle does to you. They make sure they have so many locations that the ease is why you're doing it. And so he's got a great point. He's like, you know what? Ease plus we can keep raising stuff until it hurts him.
On top of that, you know, it comes off as more fresh. It comes off as, I don't know if it's more healthy. I don't know the answer to that. But it appears like when you think about it, and my impression of it is that it's more healthy than other places that are similar.
If I had my druthers, like if I go anywhere, all right, Willie's.
Willie's is good. I like Willie's too, but I don't even know where Willie's is.
But that's the problem.
I'm Moe's over Willie's.
Okay, all right.
Okay, fine. No,
yeah, but still, there's other places. Willie's, the only Willie's I know is right there at Roswell Road, 285, inside the perimeter.
There's only a few. I would also say, because of their other products, I think Moe's is a better product than Chipotle. But I can tell you the 4 Chipotles all around my house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's how, and I can tell you the 3 other ones that are on the way to the volleyball facility.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. 100%. That's what happens.
At some point, though,
will I make the adjustment to avoid it because of the price point?
Yes.
And that's what he's saying. He's like, they're not going to yet.
And we're going to continue to raise the price. So my question to you is, when do you make that adjustment? When? 404-741-1230. If you have made the adjustment, like Los has, because of just what he saw over the last few years.
I think the product was dropping off while the price was enhancing.
It's crazy because I didn't even notice the product drop off. I did notice the price increase, which is the exact opposite of you. But there are those times where I'm like, I think I'll just go somewhere else. I think I'll go home and make a sandwich or whatever.
I have a hard time finding, because I know I have some old tweets about it, because I took the picture.
Yeah.
Because it looked like somebody gave me
this little bitty burrito.
The burrito was like the size of like a little bit of an elongated wallet.
Yeah.
Okay. Like normally the thing is like the size. Yeah. Okay. Not even like take about a third of your wallet, and that's what they basically gave me. Like look at that thing. You're just like that's not worth
$13.
No, it's like that's like a 5-inch, 4-inch burrito. Like I'm trying to get the thing that where I know that like my plumbing's going to get tested after I'm done.
That's
right.
I want the things to be spicy.
I mean, it's called a colon clogger for a reason, people. That's what it's supposed to be.
That's right.
And yet it was getting smaller.
They didn't give you much, and then they charged you a whole lot.
Yes.
Chipotle robbing you without a gun because you'll pay it. That's exactly what the CEO said, and he's not wrong. People have been paying it.
Hey, credit to Stephanie. She even points it out. Makes her ill, she goes with Moe's.
Okay.
I'm like, Willie's, Moe's. Now, my favorite is the smaller place over at Cumming City Center.
Oh, what's the name of that one? So I've not been. I know you've talked about it.
So when it is time, and we try and probably do it once a week. You just kind of have to plan accordingly for it. When I get a chance to go with a burrito, I make it a point to head over to Cummings City Center, and they have a little place that's downstairs. It is by far the best burrito because of their ingredients, and it shares it with a
like an ice cream joint or something.
Well, it's like half tequila bar
ice cream,
and then half like burrito joint.
Tequila's kind of like ice cream for me, dude. That's awesome. I need to hit that place up when I get a chance for sure. Next time I get to Cummings City Center. When we come back on Extra 106.3. One woman is bringing new voters to the GOP, and it is concerning to Newsweek. Next on Extra.
Los Rios.
Oh, there we go.
The Morning Xtra, Neil Bortz, and The Kimmer Show are all online for you anytime at thepodcastpark.com. Plus all of Extra's exclusive podcasts like Ben Burnett, Janelle King, and so much more. All at thepodcastpark.com. Presented by Associated Credit Union.
Ain't nothing beats the cozy comfort of a warm fireplace on a cool Georgia night. Tug here for Chimney Solutions. But before you light that fire, make sure the chimney's clean, safe, and ready with my friends at Chimney Solutions. Did you know that a dirty and damaged chimney could lead to dangerous carbon monoxide leaks or even chimney fires? Don't take that chance. Chimney Solutions certified technicians use state-of-the-art equipment to ensure your home and family are protected. Chimney Solutions, keeping Georgia homes safe, warm, and beautiful for over 25 years.
When it comes to luxury, performance, and cutting-edge technology, few brands do it better than Cadillac.
And there's no better place to experience Cadillac than Jim Ellis Cadillac, where buying a luxury vehicle is just as refined as the vehicle itself.
From the bold Escalade to the sleek XT5, the powerful CT5, and the electrifying new Lyriq, you'll find an impressive selection ready to go.
That means more choices, more availability, and competitive pricing, all with the transparent, no-pressure approach Jim Ellis is known for.
And with the Jim Ellis Expressway, you can start your purchase online. Value your trade, schedule a test drive, even complete paperwork from home.
It's luxury car buying made simple and convenient on your terms. Or shop in person and enjoy a professional, welcoming dealership experience that puts you first.
To get started, visit JimEllisCadillac.com or stop by the Jim Ellis Cadillac dealership on Peachtree Boulevard, just inside the perimeter.
Jim Ellis Cadillac, where you can always expect the best.
Immaculately designed and manicured backyards can significantly enhance your property's value and visual appeal. And by adding a customized, professionally designed and installed artificial putting green from ATL Turf Co., it'll take your home to the next level. ATL Turf Co.'s custom greens are designed to replicate tournament-level green conditions with realistic ball bounce, roll, and speed, and has a stimp meter of 10 to 12.5. So maybe it's time to consider artificial turf.
Hey, this is John Flading from ATL Turf Co. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
If you've been listening to me on Extra, you know that I don't put my name on just anything. It's a Kimmer, of course, talking about my longtime friends at Peach State Windows, the family-owned Georgia company I've been trusting for something like 25 years now. Jeff owns a joint. He and his wife been doing this for years and years. This crew's been serving Georgia homeowners for decades, for like 5 of them. He knows Georgia's weather and building codes and what really works in our homes. How about right now? 8 premium Energy Star double hung replacement windows fully installed, $39.95. That's right, 8 windows for under $4,000 installed. You don't get deals like this from those big national companies or the personal service and craftsmanship that Jeff demands and provides. How about this? How about 0% financing for 12 months? Makes upgrading a little bit easier, doesn't it? PeachStateWindows.com. That's PeachStateWindows.com. Here's the number, 770-485-8011. Trusted, proven, priced right. Make the uglies go away. PeachStateWindows.com.
Your favorite Extra shows are streaming live video from the studio on Extra 106.3's YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Extra YouTube channel and get the Morning Extra and the Kimmer Show in live digital video. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, and the Kimmer Show on WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.
possible second deadline fast approaching. CJ Pop of Fox News. A busy weekend for law enforcement in Arizona searching the home of Savannah Guthrie's sister and other locations for clues in the hopes of finding their mother, 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, who's been missing for over a week. The pressure-packed situation ramping up today as Fox's Madeline Rivera explains.
KGUN 9, a local TV news outlet which received one of the original ransom notes, says the demand is $6 million and threatened Nancy Guthrie's life if it's not paid today by 5 o'clock. The family is begging whoever took her to bring her home. So the FBI tells the Associated Press when Savannah says, quote, "We have received your message," she is referencing another alleged ransom note sent via email to local TV news station KOLD on Friday. KOLD says that email, which they have not released to the public, did not contain proof of life of Nancy. Guthrie's family is allegedly being told to pay the ransom in Bitcoin.
And that is local time. That's Fox's Madeline Rivera reporting. It was certainly sleepless in Seattle. No, it was not, because the Seattle Seahawks triumph in Super Bowl 60, defeating the overmatched New England Patriots. This woman watching the game at one of the numerous watch parties throughout the Emerald City.
Letting it sink in. It's been an amazing season, incredible last game, and I'm so excited for the parade.
The victory parade is reportedly set for Wednesday. Well, the Prince and Princess of Wales expressing deep concern for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. In a statement today, Prince William and Princess Catherine say they're appalled by the contents of more than 3 million pages of documents released earlier by the U.S. Department of Justice. It's another move by the monarchy to distance himself from the former Princess Andrew's relationship with the convicted sex offender. And police in Providence will release redacted body cam footage of the response to the shooting at Brown University on December 13th. The gunman killed 2, injured 9. America's listening to Fox News.
Let me share Brian's story. He's in Alabama, and he wrote in, he said, "Glenn, after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and I am amazed at the relief that I have gotten." Those are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do. And I've seen that kind of transformation in myself, and hearing Brian's experience reinforces why I take endorsing Relief Factor so seriously. Before I started taking Relief Factor myself, I was losing hope that I could ever have a normal life again. My hands were in so much pain. It's created by doctors, 100% drug-free product using 4 key ingredients. It supports the body's natural inflammatory response. Hundreds of thousands of people have ordered Relief Factor, and like Brian and me, over 2/3 of these people go on to order more month after month. So don't wait. If you're dealing with pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Call 800-4RELIEF or go to relieffactor.com. Don't wait anymore. Feel what it's like to be out of pain. 1-800-4-RELIEF.
This is Tucker Carlson. You're listening to Atlanta's only conservative talk station, Xtra 106.3. Worldwide on the Xtra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on Xtra 106.3. Good Monday morning to you. You feeling a little slow creeping because of the Super Bowl, or did you get some good rest because you went to bed early because the game was kind of boring?
I made it to midnight, but it wasn't a hard midnight.
It wasn't? Okay.
We got in the door and took care of some stuff around the house and went to bed.
What are you taking care of at midnight? I mean, like feed the dog, walk the dog.
Get the dog outside and try and get the girls' lunches together and all the stuff that we could have done in the afternoon, evening that we didn't because we were at a party. You gotta get home. Like, girls, y'all go to bed. We'll take care of some stuff, and we finally got in bed.
Poor dog's like, I got to go. Waiting at the door.
She was ready to run around outside for a bit. I was like, all right, go get the zoomies out. Use the restroom. Take care of it later.
There is a connection to the Turning Point USA broadcast that you saw that garnered a whole lot of attention last night at halftime. This was I don't think unexpected. Just to be completely frank with you, I don't believe this was unexpected, and I think the Turning Point folks knew that there was an opportunity here. How do we invite a whole bunch of the audience to come over to see our broadcast? The Puppy Bowl was also on, too. If you recall, the Puppy Bowl was a thing. I didn't realize that was still a thing. So there was lots of things that you could have watched during the halftime show, including just sticking with the halftime show, which was Bad Bunny. There is a connection to Atlanta, I found out, about the Turning Point USA that garnered, what was the number, 6.2? Does that was
As of this morning, it was 6.2 million just on YouTube alone.
And so that doesn't count the Facebook page, their website, and X, because I know they streamed it on all
Which I think we're getting closer to, if you're just starting to add everything up, between live and then reviews, somewhere right around 18 million.
Goodness, that's
It's a bigger number, yeah.
Dude,
I know it was 5 that was live last night.
That was as it was happening.
And it was 6.2 as of this morning on YouTube alone, but it was Rumble, Facebook, all those.
So our friend Los was at a party. We were invited kind of last minute to some neighbor's house, and they had flipped on the Turning Point. There was no discussion in the room. It wasn't like, hey, what are we going to watch? They just immediately turned it over. And these are not blatantly political people. I think they were just interested in what Turning Point was doing, and they probably couldn't understand what was happening at during the Super Bowl halftime show. So the connection to Atlanta is that what you saw, if you flipped over and saw, or you see today in replay mode, as Los had said, you see some of the clips, that was filmed at Trilith Live down in Fayetteville. And, it's incredible because I hosted an event down there in November for Camp Southern Ground. Really, really cool venue. Kind of reminds you about this, maybe the size of the bottom floor of the Roxy. Not a gigantic venue, but a cool venue. That's where that was filmed. So when you saw that play back last night, it was not live. Some people were confused about it being live versus not. It was not live. It was filmed at Trilith Live Monday and Tuesday of last week leading into the Super Bowl this week. So there's your connection. Turning Point USA came to Fayetteville, Georgia to film what they counter-programmed against the biggest behemoth in all of television.
Well, I think we should, because, this is all fluid, but I think that we should talk about our experience last night with that broadcast like the first thing you should know.
Yes, let's do that.
They want you awake, informed, and ready to fight for the facts of the day in the land of the free. Now your sleepyhead nation needs your wake-up call. A mighty dose of reality coming in strong. Soon as the sun cracks the horizon so high, man, we got the story.
Let's go.
Time for
it's
a lie.
A Friday. A Monday.
Put a boot in your hands.
His brain fast-forwarded to a future time when he's just as happy.
Hoping.
No, I thought it was interesting because we talked about this off the air during the 6 o'clock hour. When you've had recent shows, recent Super Bowl halftime shows, and this was the first time, because we've talked about what is going on in this country, that right now we are living in 2 different versions, 2 different visions of a country. And they are at odds with one another. And it's almost like we're in this Cold War that sparks up culturally here and there. Sometimes it's on the streets of Minneapolis, where she didn't hit him with a car. She hit him with a car. She got shot. Okay, she got shot. Well, this guy is really, he's a friendly nurse.
Friendly nurse.
He's not even armed. He's armed. He got shot.
And had 2 extra clips just to make sure the job got done.
Just so we have that happen. Well, last night was one of those flashpoints where it was globalism on display.
Yep.
And I hate to try and make it into like, hey, it's political, but it was political. That's what you were given. You were given a political show. And the fun part was, no one in the house that I was in, we had about 30 people, as soon as it was over, no one said a word about it. It was just, all right, get me back to the football game. And to watch the reaction from largely the black community saying, you took the biggest sport in America and you gave me a halftime all in Spanish, to hell with you guys.
Yeah, I guess no interest whatsoever. Bryce had mentioned that he listens to Bad Bunny a little bit, and you said just he didn't sound good.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it.
Just basically, I'm not a huge Bad Bunny fan. Like, I'm not going to go out there and say I'm one of his top listeners or anything like that. But I will say, just hearing his music and how he sounds normally, he didn't sound all that great. But another thing, this was not a performance like Super Bowls past. It was mainly just him singing, and it looked like it was made for TV. Like, from videos you see in the audience and from the crowd, I don't really think, unless you were sitting way up top, that you could probably see into that area.
The crowd was staring like they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. Understandably. I
mean, you can go back and you can watch. Now, the all-time one is Prince.
Oh, dude, nothing better.
And the entire stadium goes nuts.
For good reason. It's freaking Prince.
Because it's Prince, and it's a performance, and it's a show. All right, that's happened, where the crowd goes wild. The crowd is standing there like, what are we watching? And I think it actually is, as Bryce said, made for TV production, but even while, and we were talking about this in the opening hour, I couldn't hear any of the commercials. Mm-hmm. Too many people in the house yelling about the game. Couldn't hear anything. Couldn't hear the broadcast. The only thing I could hear was halftime because everybody got quiet to listen to it. and you couldn't understand any of it. And then there was not a word afterwards. It was like, all right, so that's what that was, huh?
Just
like,
meh. Whatever. No, never.
But I thought, even when we go back to 2020, I thought what The Weeknd did was really cool. And it was made for that same sort of deal of it visually was supposed to come across on television the way it was supposed to. But he was also doing his songs that everybody knew, and the whole crowd was into it. Because he was doing the songs that everybody knew.
That's right. Yeah, and
it was in English.
And
just that little tiny fact that the man happens to broadcast his talent in English.
Right. And the crazy thing for me is, like, people were like, well, his show was all about unity and love. And I was like, okay. Great. But it didn't change the fact that I wouldn't have, had we stuck around. We obviously watched Turning Point, so we didn't stick around to see it. I have no ill will toward Bad Bunny. People are trying to turn this into you don't like Bad Bunny.
No, I don't like the NFL taking a national holiday, which is supposed to be typically, and giving your biggest production and giving it to a smaller, tiny portion of the audience.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but that's what drove those numbers for Turning Point USA. As I was sitting at the gathering we went to, I didn't know at the time because we did not discuss it ahead of time. The friends that we hung out with aren't blatantly, openly, overtly political. And so I didn't know what they would do. But I had the phone on my knee, just sitting there waiting for it, and it was cued, we'll start, and then there was a little timer. It was counting down to when they were going to start. And I just kept seeing the numbers grow and grow and grow. And then by the time you're into Brantley Gilbert's, I think, second song, which was Dirt Road Anthem, the hit that he wrote for Jason Aldean, dude, the numbers were at from my vantage point, at like 5.2 million at that point. And you're like, holy cow, this is moving the freaking needle. This is people saying, I want to make a statement with what I'm watching.
So when we were at the home that we were at, one person, before things got cranked up, said, hey, isn't there another halftime show that's going on? And I kind of said Turning Point USA is doing their own counter programming. And it wasn't until we got a few minutes into the actual halftime broadcast is when people said, hey, where's that other one? I was like, well, it's on YouTube. Now, I didn't watch it till this morning. The counter programming. Now, first off, this is why the NFL is going to be very upset about this, and they are very upset about this because 5 million people live at the very least just on YouTube alone versus what their production was is entirely too many, especially when you're asking for top dollar in terms of, hey, this is a halftime brought to you by Pepsi, brought to you by who you're asking, because you're telling them you're going to get a crazy amount of viewers. Well, you just showed me 5 million left.
Yeah.
5 million people left, and I paid you a premium for this.
You didn't tell me about the 5 million leaving. You told me it was going to be rock solid.
It wasn't good. Wasn't 50,000. Wasn't 10,000. It was 5 million people left the broadcast.
Yeah.
But to see, and here's again the liberal argument. Well, they led off with Kid Rock, who had his song about strippers and all, and I was like, yes, they did. That was a big part of that. You know why that was a big part of it? Because you had the transition to where he comes back out as Robert Ritchie.
His actual name.
And telling you about finding Jesus.
Dude, and he did a cover of the Cody Johnson song, Till You Can't, which if you've never heard that song, go back and listen to it. It's incredible. But Bob Ritchie actually added new lyrics in there, talking about that book that sits on your end table that needs to be dusted off a little bit. Dude, it was moving.
It was a message. It was a transformation. It was a storyline.
Like he is graduating from this character of Kid Rock to the man that is Bob Ritchie, and life experience and doing all the wrong things for so many years has led him to this point of saying, there's something bigger, there's something better.
That's why I'm glad that I watched it on the way in. Again, out of curiosity, I got 13 minutes. I'm going to be in the car for 35, 40 minutes to get here. It'd be ridiculous of me to talk about these shows without having seen the other one. And when I did, my first thought was, why didn't we watch that at that house? Because it would have been better, and people would have been singing along. It was actually well done.
Well produced. And a friend of mine is on Brantley Gilbert's production team, and that's how I found out that they had filmed it on Monday and Tuesday at Trillith Live. If you live down in Fayetteville or if you go down there at all, you'll probably be familiar with that little venue. It's really, really cool. But it was just that excellence that came out, and the fact that they wanted you to know that they love the United States of America and they love the Lord. And all 4 artists, even Brantley Gilbert, which I've seen Brantley transform into a guy that used to be hell on wheels. When I used to host for 101.5 over at Wild Bill's in Duluth, I remember being backstage with Brantley, and he had 2 gigantic bodyguards because he didn't know who was coming in the venue that he may have crossed paths with, and it didn't go well. I mean, dude, I was intimidated just being there. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't feel good about this.
This guy's got a history.
No kidding, dude. I'm not kidding. That's really the way I felt. To see him go from what that was to, he didn't, in Dirt Road Anthem, he didn't even use the swear words that are written. He alluded to them and kept going. He has made the conscious effort to be a better father, to be a better husband. He's stopped drinking. He's sober. There's all kinds of things. If you understand the backstory, you understand why that transformation of him on stage and then Kid Rock at the end doing the exact same thing, showing that maturation, was so impressive.
While on the other end, when it did come to the Super Bowl, there was this push for, hey, listen, it's globalism, and here's how we all get along, and here's how we all live together. And I'm like, that's great.
Sure.
I also read the translation of what you were doing up there.
Oh, wow. Was it just
bring
filthy?
It, mommy, so I can lick it?
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, the lyrics are.
Yeah. All right, so don't tell me about how
all the unity.
How one was way too outrageous.
Yeah.
Versus what the other one was, but that was about unity.
Yeah.
It's like,
I've seen that on social media though this morning from friends on Facebook. Young woman I'm connected with, she's a musician down in New Orleans, talking about how Kid Rock didn't bring any diversity. It was a bunch of white people, and then the diversity and the unity was really in the Bad Bunny presentation.
And they're like, no, what you were fed was more of the garbage that has been being fed. And again, you can watch the videos. At some point, we'll have a good laugh out of it. Black America, you're already losing them already, Democrats. And then you took a national holiday and you gave them all in Spanish. And they're like, y'all really are trying to cancel us out, aren't you?
The video that you watched earlier.
It was a dude saying, well, this isn't soccer. He's like, if you're watching soccer, they give you a translator afterwards.
Right,
He's
right.
like, why do I have, and as he put it, why does it then make me a bad guy or racist that I don't want to listen to something in Spanish at the Super Bowl? It doesn't. But they're trying to change the rules on you.
Of course, they're trying to make you feel a certain way. Here's the thing. Watch what you want to watch. If you wanted to watch Bad Bunny, good. I couldn't care less what you watch. But I couldn't miss what people wanted to make a statement by watching. That was what I couldn't miss. And I was part of that. I wanted to watch that, and I wanted to make the statement. So you and I feel the exact same about that, if you feel that way. And it didn't have to be Kid Rock versus Bad Bunny. I mean, I know it was because they're competing shows. But it wasn't like anybody was saying, Bad Bunny, if you watch that, you're terrible and you're not a fine American. You need to watch Kid Rock. Only, patriots are going to watch Kid Rock. None of that. One was, I can understand it. And they're talking about the Lord. They're talking about Jesus, which hits. That's what I wanted to see, and I was glad to see it. And the other just had my attention not at all. I mean, I had no interest. I just didn't care one way or another.
This is when you get to that water cooler and people want to talk about that at halftime. I just want you to give them this one little note that as of now, so Apple Music has the exclusive rights to Bad Bunny's performance. So this is part of what all the artists want. They want to have their stuff out there so that you go to Apple, then their entire catalog comes up.
Yeah, sure.
And you can download, buy. That's what they're doing this for, okay? As of now, That show has garnered 2.2 million views. So 2.2 million that have been shot over to Apple to see that, to then get access to the catalog. As of now, they're up another million. The broadcast that Turning Point had on YouTube right now is at 19 million views.
Wow.
I also just checked, and the YouTube full performance of Bad Bunny is at 9.5.
So 9 versus 18.
19 million.
19.
They hit another million
more than doubled
since we started the show.
More than doubled since we started the show.
Yeah.
Tells you all you need to know.
And by the way, they had a 150 million person lead going in.
That's right. And they still won.
Can we check the ballots?
This is
That's right.
This is not joking around. Like,
No,
that's counter programming
that's
something.
Big time, dude. It's big time. And you'll hear MS Now, if they even mention it.
Oh, it was a whole 6 o'clock hour trying to downplay it.
Just completely
But
downplaying
I think
it.
they've run from it now that the numbers are showing what they're showing.
They have to. They have to, because they're going to look foolish if they continue to tell you that the counter programming didn't work. Because it did. Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. The wheels are falling off the Democrat propaganda machine. Next with Tug and Los on Extra.
Neil Bortz is only live on Extra 106.3, bringing you daily commentary on the biggest topics of the day. Catch him throughout the day or hear his latest on the Extra 106.3 app.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro's swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. You know what time it is? Cooler weather. Perfect time to get those outdoor projects done. Stovall & Company has everything. Wholesale landscaping, nursery, irrigation supplies. 11 locations, latest one in Canton. Family owned for 75 years. They've got it all. StovallInc.com.
When Atlanta drivers want strength, capability, and comfort in one place, they head to Jim Ellis Buick GMC.
That's because Buick and GMC deliver everything from refined luxury to serious professional-grade performance, and Jim Ellis Buick GMC makes the buying experience quick, easy, and transparent.
Whether you're looking for a rugged GMC Sierra, a versatile Acadia, or a refined Buick Enclave, you'll find a huge selection in stock right now.
And just like every Jim Ellis dealership, you can shop your way. Start online, value your trade, schedule a test drive, even handle paperwork from home.
Or stop by and experience the no-pressure, straightforward approach Jim Ellis is known for.
Find your new Buick GMC at JimEllisBuickGMC.com or shop in person for a VIP shopping experience designed around your needs.
2 convenient locations to serve you. In Chamblee on Peachtree Boulevard, just inside the perimeter, or up Highway 20 in Buford near the Mall of Georgia.
Jim Ellis Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
The Braves 2026 gate giveaways are here, and this season is packed with must-have items. From the Braves Legends collection featuring iconic Braves alumni to the crossover jersey collection with Braves basketball, football, hockey, and soccer jerseys, there's something for every fan. Plus, fans can look forward to some new additions like a Hawaiian shirt, cowboy hat, and a bobble card series. It's part bobblehead, part baseball card. Visit Braves.com/promos to see the full lineup and grab your tickets. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
We live in a time where everything is digital. Photos, videos, messages. We document our lives constantly. But some of the most important moments in our lives are all captured long before smartphones even existed, and they're still sitting on VHS tapes and film reels and old photographs. And these fragile formats were never meant to last forever. That's where Legacy Box comes in. Legacy Box was founded over a decade ago with a mission to preserve family memories and bring them into the digital age. They make the process extremely simple and safe. You order a Legacy Box, send in your tapes, your films, your photos, and their team digitizes everything right here in the United States. And you get the original media back along with the secure digital files that you can watch and share and protect for the future. I always urge you to prepare, and there's no better way to prepare than to save your past. Tanya and I use Legacy Box because we trust them to preserve our family's memories, and you should too. Future-proof your family history with Legacy Box. Go to legacybox.com/records and take advantage of 50% off today. That's legacybox.com/records.
It's February 9th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is National Pizza Day, so get your za on and put your favorite toppings on your pie. Did you know over 3 billion pizzas are sold each year in the U.S., 4 billion if you include frozen pies. Also on this day, in 1895, the sport of mintonette was invented by William G. Morgan in Massachusetts. The game continues to be played around the world by its more common name, volleyball. The Beatles made their debut in The Ed Sullivan Show in 1964. It was viewed by nearly 74 million people. In 1971, pitcher Leroy Satchel Paige became the first Negro League player to be inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame. Born on this day, singer-songwriter Carole King in 1942. Actor Joe Pesci, born in 1943. Former Mets outfielder and leadoff hitter, the One Dog, Mookie Wilson, born in 1952. I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Monday, February 9th, and here are your headlines. North Cobb Christian School is highlighting a new education tax program that will allow donors to send money towards scholarships for students while receiving a state tax credit. School leaders say the change will expand access and help families afford private education, and they're encouraging community support for the program as it rolls out. A former Atlanta Braves player has died unexpectedly at the age of 34. The Braves confirmed the death of Georgia native Terrence Gore, who also played for the Royals, Dodgers, Cubs, and Mets. Known as one of baseball's fastest players, Gore was a key part of Kansas City's 2015 World Series and built a career as an elite pinch runner and postseason base-stealing threat. And finally, Georgia lawmakers have introduced a bill targeting high school athlete name, image, and likeness deals, aiming to regulate how student athletes can profit in the state. Sponsors say the proposal would set clear rules and protections for schools and players, balancing opportunities with fairness and educational priorities. Today's weather is partly cloudy with a high of 64 and a low of 44. With the Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. Here in a moment, we'll flash back, and I want to tell you in about 6 minutes, the wheels are falling off of that Democrat propaganda train. Los has uncovered something that is juicy over there.
I mean, do you want me to give it to the people now, or should we do it at 8 o'clock? I'll just tell you this. I'm reading from a marketing executive that went through the streaming data and the numbers. What happened last night in terms of not just changing the marketing game, but changing the messaging game and basically telling the NFL, hey, stop leaving your audience behind. This was a massive chunk to let them know that we are not interested in what you were planning on selling us.
We'll hit that at 8 o'clock and also throw in the level of artist. Think about the level of artist that was on the Turning Point USA broadcast. We'll talk about that at 8. Right now, Kamala Harris. She's an interesting woman. We haven't gotten to hear a word salad from her in some time, and I almost feel like there's a hole in our soul not getting enough Kamala word salad, Los.
I really feel that if we did this properly, we'd have to flash back.
Yes.
We said all there is to say, baby, flashback, go ahead and give it to me. Flashback, honey, take us through the night.
I love this. Because all the discussion of voter ID laws, which let me tell you, maybe get into a little bit later during the week, the bath that the left was taking on Sunday television yesterday was brutal.
Even Dana Bash.
Dana Bash was even saying, hey, if 71% of your voters want this,
help me understand this.
Help me understand how this is voter suppression. Well, it's just voter suppression, Dana.
That was pretty much the answer.
That was it. Explain how this is voter suppression. Well,
it's voter suppression.
It is voter suppression.
Don't you know?
Oh, okay. Like, for instance, when we had the Jim Crow 2.0 here in the state of Georgia, then in the next 2 elections, we have record turnout, including record minority turnout. Oh, so weird. Because what did we do? You need to have an ID, which was already there, but that's what you have to do. But we made windows larger for voting. Okay. Easier to vote, harder to cheat. That was the plan.
The message. Yep.
Well, that's the message right now. So someone dug up this information from a previous interview on BET. And remember, this is supposed to be like the friendly place.
Sure.
That Kamala Harris was looking to go as the vice president.
As if she needed another place to give her kid like gloves.
Yes.
She got them here too.
So when she went on BET, the host, she asked her a question about voter ID laws. Now, I think this is what's been like this great awakening point. We have long talked that voter ID is not about voter suppression. It's about the cheating that goes on. And for a long time, you would have leaders within the black community that would say, no, it's Jim Crow, and they would make up all these excuses, while the rest of the black community is going, oh, listen, I got an ID.
Dude, how insulting is it?
How insulting is it that you're making me out to be somebody who can't possibly function?
I can't write my name. I can't go to the DMV to get an ID.
What did Kathy Hochul tell us?
DDS.
Well, you give them a computer, they can't even figure out what to do with it.
Remember the video? There was the one video of the dude.
Yes, the young man who's acting like he doesn't know how to work a computer.
And he's jumping around like he's like some Neanderthal.
It looks like, what is it? The movie where it starts off, I'm trying to remember the futuristic movie. Anyway, the futuristic movie where it's the beginnings of man and they're staring at a rock like, what is this? What is this obelisk? This is the craziest thing in the world. That's what that dude did to mock Kathy Hochul. So let's now go over to Kamala Harris. And she's playing the game. When the talk of voter ID starts, she decides rather than just doing what the rest of the Democrats do, just call it voter suppression, she decided she was going to give you a more poignant response. Take a listen.
Is agreeing to voter ID one of those compromises that you'd support?
I don't think that we should underestimate what that could mean.
Huh?
Because in some people's mind, that means, well, you're going to have to Xerox or photocopy your ID to send it in to prove you are who you are. Well, there are a whole lot of people, especially people who live in rural communities, who don't. There's no Kinko's, there's no Office Max near them. People have to understand that when we're talking about voter ID laws, be clear about who you have in mind and what would be required of them to prove who they are. Of course, people have to prove who they are.
Huh?
But not in a way that makes it almost impossible for them to prove who they are.
All right, I need to lay down the law on
I
this.
need to bang my head against the wall.
If you were to tell me, Tug, Los, when it comes to that point, I think you're retarded. What I would say is not offensive. You know why? Because I'm not. I don't think we can use the R word with her anymore because it might quite possibly be she is.
Yeah. Dude, and I don't know which staffer got to her because she tried to change it around, right? She was getting the feedback, I bet, from the black community going, dude, we can get an ID. We're fine. Do you see how she switched it to the rural community? Well, they might not have a Kinko's. They might not have a FedEx.
Wait, they might have to photocopy and send their ID. I'm like,
what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Like, what process have you been following?
There is no process by which I have to photocopy my ID and send it somewhere in order to be legally eligible to vote.
Let's say you live in Dublin, Georgia. Middle of the state, very rural. I bet there's a Walmart within 20 miles of you. Something tells me. Let's say you live, I don't know, in deep South Georgia. I just bet there's a way that you could go and find a Kinko's, which doesn't even exist anymore.
But again,
when was this?
But the premise is wrong. There's no reason you have to photocopy anything.
But even following, I know you reject the premise because it's dumb, but I'm saying even if we needed to do this cumbersome thing that you're describing, even if we needed to, we could get it done.
Okay, well then I could say, the problem is going to be is that you're going to have to walk on hot coals before you can do this, and there's not a whole lot of people that can afford fire. It's like, no, that has nothing to do with the process, Kamala. You know what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to eat a pound of Jell-O. But there's not a lot of people that can get a hold of a pound of Jell-O on short notice. And one has nothing to do with the other. You don't have to photocopy anything. You don't have to walk on coals. You don't have to eat Jell-O.
You don't have to do any of those things.
Guess what? You have to have a small piece of plastic that has your picture on it.
And even if you did, you could get it done. I feel certain you could get it done. If you wanted to. Like, if there's something that's complicated to do, and I don't have a good example, but I'm saying if there's something that's important to you, it's complicated to do you just say, well, it's too hard, I'm not going to do this? It's not important enough to me.
Like, for instance,
you go do it.
Having your kid go to college, how much paperwork you fill out? Because it was important.
Oh, my God, dude. And you're going to do it very soon.
Yes.
The stack of paperwork, I mean, you're just on the computer, like just FAFSA alone.
Yeah.
The federal loan dollars that you can take out a loan to pay for your college, that alone is hours on the computer.
And that's so you can give somebody else money. Not to vote.
Here's the other thing. Los. This little thing this is in rural communities too. This little fancy thing,
this little plastic
this little
thing.
device.
Is kind of a computadora?
Yes, that's what it's called.
That's what Bad Buddy calls it.
That's exactly what he calls it. But you can get these in rural communities. You can get these in the hood. You can get these anywhere.
There's not enough electricity in rural communities to have one of those magic box things. I'm sorry. Everyone, almost everyone, has a computer in their pocket called a phone.
Dude, I don't know the percentage of people in America that have a cell phone, but I would put it at 98%. If I had to guess. And maybe if this is The Price is Right, maybe I go over just by a little bit. But something tells me in the United States of America, the overwhelming majority of people have that little device in their pocket called the phone that Los is talking about. And guess what you can go to? You can go to websites. There's one specifically for the state of Georgia about voting and driving. They've got all kinds of departments, and you can just, on that little magic device, go and see and talk to and interact with all of them, and they even have a little chat in case you can't figure it out.
By the way, you have 98% of adults that have cell phones. You have 91% of U.S. adults. This is by Pew Media Research as of 2025. 91% of U.S. adults have a smartphone.
98% have a cell. 91% have a smartphone. I'm just saying.
Just pointing out of adults.
Kamala, you may be wrong on this one. And she knows she's wrong. She knows she's wrong. That's why it turned into the word salad it did.
Might have to go to Kinko's.
That's why she started talking in circles, because it didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense.
That's why she lost.
That's why she lost by an overwhelming majority. The wheels seem to be falling right off the Democrat propaganda machine. Since we started with talking about Dana Bash, let's let you hear her pushing. I'm not kidding. Dana Bash on CNN pushing a Democrat, and this time it's Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, about the voter ID issue.
But requiring basic ID in order to vote is really popular. A Pew poll from a few months ago showed 83% of Americans, including 71% of your fellow Democrats, support requiring an ID to vote. Why are they wrong?
I haven't said that they're wrong. We know that states are the ones who are empowered to conduct elections, and every state should be allowed to decide the best way to proceed to ensure that there's a free and fair election. Here in New York, there are, in fact, voter identification requirements. The question is that what Republicans are trying to do is to engage in clear and blatant voter suppression. They know that if there's a free and fair election in November, they're going to lose. In fact, Republicans have been losing every single election since Donald Trump was sworn in January of last year, including most recently decisively in Texas, and of course, losing all across the country, up and down the ballot in the November off-year elections in places like New Jersey or Virginia or New York.
Yeah, and they've been losing. I mean, Virginia is a good example. They have a requirement to show your ID, and Democrats won very, very handily across the way. So why not maybe even just take that off the table and say, okay, maybe not a passport or birth certificate, but show ID.
Well, first of all, every state is empowered to be able to make the decision on their own, and we completely
he just
and totally
starts repeating himself. He never ever comes to an actual conclusion. A few seconds later, he was like, "Oh well, Donald Trump's trying to steal the election." That's the end all be all. Because you're asked to show ID before you vote, or open cable, or turn on the power at your house, you have to show ID. But because you have to do it to vote, Donald Trump's trying to steal the election. That's the connection. That's the jump that was made by Dana Bash saying, hey, 71% of Democrats agree with this. Your party.
It's very simple. Even Democrats look at this and say, we don't want to have a level playing field with people that are illegally here. We do not want them to have the ability to vote and to influence our elections and to influence as if they're citizens of this country. And there's at least 71% of the Democrat Party that realizes voting is an advantage to being a U.S. citizen. So then the Democrat Party immediately is like, no, but we need them. That's all they're not telling you. No, but we need them.
We have to have them.
We have to have them. But you won over here with voter ID laws, yet no.
And
we have to have them. Because the next thing is they know they won't be counted in the census.
And then he even brings up, hey, we have voter ID laws in New York. Well, are they racist? That would have been my first question. Is Donald Trump trying to steal the election in New York, too?
How racist are they?
It's so absurd, man. Like, you have to be brain dead to listen to that and go, yeah, he's got a point. I think he's got a point.
The only states that Kamala won had no voter ID laws. The only ones in this country.
When we continue on Extra 106.3, the blatant racism out of the commie protesters, paid protesters, but definitely commie. Paid protesters. Next on the Morning Xtra and Extra 106.3.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Monday, February 9th. The Seattle Seahawks are the Super Bowl champions after beating the New England Patriots 29-13 last night. Running back Kenneth Walker was named the game's MVP after rushing for 135 yards. Kicker Jason Myers set a Super Bowl record, hitting 5 field goals in the game. The Seattle Seahawks defense sacked Patriots quarterback Drake May 6 times in the ball game. Over the weekend around the NFL, Atlanta Falcons pass rusher James Pierce Jr. arrested in Florida on a multitude of charges, including 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated stalking, fleeing or eluding police, and resisting an officer. The incident stems from a domestic violence dispute in which Pierce Jr. reportedly crashed his car into his ex-girlfriend's car a multitude of times. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
This Valentine's Day, give a gift that says forever and a night out that says I thought of everything. Hi, I'm Jaron Solomon, and right now at Solomon Brothers, when you spend $9.99 or more, dinner at Michelin recommended Tiny Lou's is on us. Tiny Lou's is a chic French-American brasserie serving seasonally inspired French favorites, complemented by a French-focused wine list. It's intimate, retro chic, and the perfect setting for romance. So whether it's diamond studs, trendy layered necklaces, or the bracelet she's been hinting at, you're not just giving a gift. You're creating the whole evening. One stop, one perfect surprise. At Solomon Brothers, we don't just help you get Valentine's Day right. We help you earn credit for planning the whole thing in advance. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, Buckhead, Alpharetta, and Sharpsburg, helping Atlanta say I do and I love you since 1982.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
At the Honest Car Guy, the entire process is completely transparent. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee, and we even prove it by giving you a copy of the bill of sale. We can sell you any make, any year, any model, and at the Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guest is Holly Waltman, owner and managing partner of the Waltman firm. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
So, you had a long day. You decided to stop for a cocktail on the way home. The next thing you know, you had one too many and you just got pulled over. You need A Second Chance bail bonds. A Second Chance can get you or loved one out of jail quickly, in most cases, in a matter of hours. A Second Chance bail bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Get help now. Call 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT or contact them online at atlbail.com.
Hello.
Hey, is this Mike Fitzgerald?
No, I think you have the wrong number. Wish I could help you.
Well, you could if you were Mike Fitzgerald.
Who is Mike Fitzgerald?
Mike Fitzgerald is the only realtor I'll talk to because he can sell my house fast for a great price and even in this market.
Yeah, I'm definitely not Mike Fitzgerald.
Oh, I figured that out. Because Mike Fitzgerald would have sold my house already.
Need to sell your home? You need Mike Fitzgerald from the Harry Norman Realtors team, exclusive Georgia members of Forbes Global Properties. Learn more at MikeFitzgeraldRealty.com. That's where you'll find Mike Fitzgerald.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off on your print order. Ends 4/18. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
The Morning Xtra, starting your day the right way. Weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
You know, if I can't figure out how to update my driver's license to reflect where I live, so if there's a scenario where I try to get on a plane or, buy alcohol or do whatever it is I'm going to do, if I can't update my information, maybe I shouldn't be voting.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Xtra 106.3.
Tug and Los on Extra 1063. There seems to be a group of people that like to use the word racist a lot. There's a group of people, everything's racist.
A lot.
Everything's racist.
When everything's racist, isn't nothing racist?
Yes. Ultimately, yes.
I mean, didn't we live this reality on Friday when I was like, oh, look, there's a meme.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, whatever, people.
But it was funny because we had people up in arms over the meme, and those same people weren't up in arms about words being said to a ICE officer in Minneapolis.
Well, you've got to understand, Tug, he's an oppressor.
Yes, he is. And let me tell you, it wasn't like the playful, and look, I'm never using the word, ever. It's not something that I'm ever going to use. But I do believe there's a difference in the way you end the word. And let me share with you. You'll hear it. It's beeped. But this woman speaking to a black ICE officer, and she hits him with the hard R. Listen.
What's your name? Oh, you some and you're black. What? You're next. You're next.
That's it.
She sounds really solid as a person.
Yeah. Stable, compassionate, probably.
I know. I started thinking about this over the weekend. Again, once I hit Friday and it's 10 o'clock, I'm like,
yeah, sure.
I'm like, I'll get around to this Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I started seeing the comedy that was showing up on social media, and I wanted to take part. And it was this. I'm so not offended by these people on video, which, by the way, when body cams hit, it's going to be even worse for the left, which they're worried about greatly.
Have you seen the backpedal?
They're like, oh my God, they're going to actually get what these protesters are saying everywhere.
And they will see what the officer saw multiple times with Alex Preddy, multiple times with Nicole Good. All of that is going to be on the forefront. And now you're seeing Democrats going, and it starts with the activist going to the politician saying, no, y'all don't know. We don't want anybody seeing what we're doing, only what the ICE officers are doing.
It's going to be an infomercial for crazy.
It is.
That's what it's going to turn into.
It is going to be the biggest disaster, and I can't wait.
No, I'm rubbing my hands together. But so I started thinking, I'm going to partake in this, which is, I'm so not offended by what protesters are saying, and I'm so offended by the split second of a meme that I've decided I'm going to vote for the people that want to take my daughters and turn them into men.
Well, that's a good idea. That's well thought out.
I actually have decided that I'm so offended. I'm not offended by the protesters, but I'm so offended by these people that I've decided I'm going to vote for open borders.
Oh.
Because that works out great for everybody.
Hadn't it already?
I decided that I'm so offended by a meme, just so grossly offended. Oh my God, I can't believe it. That I have decided that I am going to make it a point to see if we can take economic policy back to giving us 9% inflation.
Sounds like a great plan, Los. Where do I sign up? How do we tell other people about our great plan?
And of course, the fun of all of this is that, do you really think that these two things equate to one another? No.
Of course not.
Ever. Not when we all lived through it. Not when we all saw what their vision of America is not a good one. And I was thinking about it also in these terms. The same people that created the scenario by which if you were to compare somebody to an ape, the people that created that scenario was a Southern Democrat.
Yeah.
And yet they're like, no, we'll fix this. You vote for me. Wait a minute. You're the one who set the conditions of this. In fact, you can go back into the 1860s past when we were having to rebuild everything, going into the 1900s. There was actually in a Southern newspaper wrote about a monkey trial. These are Southern Democrats, and they're the ones that are like, give us the power back.
That's
like,
right.
Why? You're the ones who set the condition by which people are supposed to be upset.
Yeah.
People that are adults aren't upset about this stuff.
No, of course not. And it's so selective.
They are really racist.
It's the selective outrage. It's the, hey, be mad about this, but don't pay any attention to this over here. I know this woman is screaming at a black officer and saying, you're next, and hitting him with the N-bomb over and over and over. And yet they want you to don't pay attention to that. That's deserved.
If we want to, we can have that video every day, because we had to last week.
That's right. Yeah.
This is not hard to collect up.
No, it isn't. But the selective outrage is what kills me. If you want me to be outraged about one, you've got to already be outraged about the one that's been out there or the several that's been out there.
You're not allowed to do things that way, Tug.
Right, the reasoning.
That's not fair.
That's right, the reasoning.
In fact, you have to assume that everything I do is out of the goodness of my heart.
Immediately. And if you think anything bad about me, well, it's you. You're the problem. So there's a no-win situation ever.
To think, and we've had people in the building that try to get righteous about this stuff. And all it takes is me going down a history book, memory lane, to go, explain to me how you're the good person in terms of history when you vote this way.
Yeah, and your party is the one that created all this to begin with.
Let me just get this straight. If we're just talking about going back to the 1960s, and you had the Republicans that pushed the Civil Rights Act, and they had to drag, kicking and screaming, some Democrats to go along with them. Most notably, Northeastern Democrats had decided, okay, we're going to get on board with this stuff. Not Southern Democrats, Northeastern Democrats. Because that's the history, you then don't get to claim, well, then the party switched. No, they never switched. They've always been foundationally like this, and you're part of it.
Yeah, you belong in it.
The left decided this is where they're casting their lot. And to hear these people on the street, this isn't in your...
displaying it.
This isn't in your home, okay? What goes on in your home, that's your home. And there's something about that, because racism starts at home, that's ugly. But I'm sure there's people at home, they'll be sitting on their couch doing whatever, and you know what? They might throw out something like that. Can you imagine how comfortable you must be to throw that out in public?
Dude.
Yell that at somebody in public while recording?
That came out real easy.
Real easy.
And multiple times.
Yeah. Without a problem. I mean, I have friends of mine who love hip-hop who don't use the N-word. They're like, nope.
Even, there's always the argument of, can you say it when you're singing? I don't care. I'm not singing it then either.
Not going to either.
It's not comfortable for me.
No.
I'm not going to say it. I don't think anybody should say it, just if I'm being completely honest. But since music and artists, they take liberties that I won't take. But that woman that you heard from, that is said in her home. There is no doubt in my mind.
And the guy the week before who was yelling at the officer, who was yelling at the agent, doing the same exact thing.
Over and over. And that was my thing on Friday that irritated me the most.
So to me, if that's not racist, well, nothing's racist, is it? If throwing
you're not willing to call that out,
if yelling N-bombs in public at people,
but dude,
is not racist, then nothing's racist.
But that's the hard R too, man. That is. Hey, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to toy with you. I'm telling you what I think.
But Tug, if that is not racist, then nothing is.
I agree with you.
100%. Nothing at all.
But that was the story on Friday. You must be outraged.
I was like,
how in the world are you going to defend this? That was the thing.
I was like, I don't know. Why don't you go back to defending how y'all acted in the 1860s and we'll go from there.
And then...
How about you defend your water hoses and dogs of the 1960s and we'll go from there.
And then how you acted last Friday and we'll go from there.
How about we'll take the previous 4 years under the administration where you imported a bunch of people to replace the legal Hispanic and black community in this country. And then you can explain things from there.
When we continue on Extra 106.3, we're in the fight of our lifetime and most have no idea that it's even happening. Next on the Morning Extra.
For the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another edition of Told Ya I Was Right All Along. Over the years, I've had to argue with a lot of people who think there is a right to vote in the United States, that the U.S. Constitution guarantees it. No, it doesn't. There is no constitutional right to vote. So for a little backup, I went to AI. Instead of Bort's intelligence, we'll rely on artificial intelligence. I asked the question, here's the answer. The United States Constitution does not grant a universal right to vote to American citizens. The Constitution treats voting as a state-controlled privilege. Instead of a right to vote, the Constitution in the 15th, 19th, 24th, and 25th Amendments simply tells the states that they cannot deny people whatever right they may have under state law to vote due to race, sex, poll taxes, or age. But whatever right you have to vote comes from the state, not from the U.S. Constitution. So under a section entitled Bottom Line, there is no constitutional right to vote. There are constitutional limits on how states may restrict voting, but the right exists because states grant it, not the U.S. Constitution. Why is this important? Well, 49 of the 50 states do constitutionally grant a right to vote to their citizens. Arizona does not. But this is important because any of those states, if they see abuses of this right, can, on their own, without the U.S. government involvement or the Supreme Court, change that guarantee and start putting reasonable restrictions on voting, such as IDs, no criminal history, you name it. Now that that's straightened out, let's set about getting people out of the polls who have no business being there. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Are home repairs piling up? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Relax. We've got you covered. From drywall dings and leaky faucets to deck repairs and trim replacement, we're your one-stop shop for everything for your home needs. No more juggling multiple contractors. Just call us at the Trusted Toolbox and we'll handle it. Your home deserves the best, and we don't want you breaking your back trying. Call the Trusted Toolbox today at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. The Trusted Toolbox, your one-stop shop for home repairs and more.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. What was for decades a simple procedural vote on what's called the rule, allowing the House to begin debate on a bill, is emerging as high drama. The regular occurrence now is when a handful of holdouts threaten to tank the procedural vote, blocking the House from even starting debate. 5-minute votes stretch to 20, 25, or even 45-minute votes as House Republican leaders try to find members who either haven't cast their ballots or are voting no. Some of this is because of the historical thin margin in the House that gives some Republicans Republicans' agency to buck their party and threaten to blow up matters unless they get what they want. They need their vote. Mid-vote squabbles and last-minute maneuverings have become frequent scenes this Congress during the rule votes, and that's probably going to be the case for the rest of the year. For decades, both parties, depending on if they were in the majority, expected their side to vote in favor of the procedural rule. Defections were rare. This has contributed to slumping congressional productivity. Fewer than 70 bills became law last year. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
The Morning Extra, starting your day the right way. Weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
I'm then more bothered by what basically is Antifa setting up checkpoints to ask random people who are just driving through, going about their day, like they have to be checked for papers. I'm more bothered by that than a guy who shows up with a gun to harass ICE and ends up being shot.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Extra 106.3. WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
Deadline day for the Guthries. Gianna Gelosi, Fox News. The FBI says today is the final deadline set by a purported kidnapper for Savannah Guthrie and her siblings to pay a ransom note to get their mother Nancy back.
We received your message and we understand.
Law enforcement officials in the meantime continue to look for evidence and clues, searching her property extensively once again over the weekend.
Not a lot of activity at Nancy Guthrie's house in Tucson. Investigators back on the property looking at some sort of drain outlet. They were putting some long device down into the drain. We don't know, obviously, whether they were looking for a particular item or whether they were taking samples. We saw a couple of law enforcement agents at the Pima County Sheriff's Department walking in with what appeared to us to be some sort of blueprint or map. They spent about 30 minutes inside. Then they came back out, drove off somewhere. Well, we've now seen stills of what looked like a very similar map or blueprint hanging from one of the evidence collection vehicles at the command center.
That's Fox's Jonathan Hunt. Meanwhile, stocks surge in Japan after a landslide election. Fox's Jonathan Savage has the details.
Japan's vote of confidence in Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi is being echoed in Tokyo's financial markets, the Nikkei 225 index reaching a record high. Takaichi's LDP party won a two-thirds supermajority in Sunday's election, the first time that's happened since Japan's current parliament was established in 1947. Takaichi called the snap election last month, having only taken office in October. A campaigner for traditional values, she's been endorsed by President Trump. Japan's first female prime minister campaigned on a promise to cut taxes and boost Japan's economy through spending. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
America's listening to Fox News.
Let me share Brian's story. He's in Alabama, and he wrote in, he said, Glenn, after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and I am amazed at the relief that I have gotten. Those are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do. And I've seen that kind of transformation in myself, and hearing Brian's experience reinforces why I take endorsing Relief Factor so seriously. Before I started taking Relief Factor myself, I was losing hope that I could ever have a normal life again. My hands were in so much pain. It's created by doctors, a 100% drug-free product using 4 key ingredients. It supports the body's natural inflammatory response. Hundreds of thousands of people have ordered Relief Factor, and like Brian and me, over 2/3 of these people go on to order more month after month. So don't wait. If you're dealing with pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Call 800-4RELIEF or go to relieffactor.com. Don't wait anymore. Feel what it's like to be out of pain. 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Want weather? Grab your phone. Need traffic? Grab your phone. Conservative news and talk, also on your phone. Get the Extra 106.3 app.
Oh, welcome to the show. See you Monday. Morning, y'all. As we like to say here on the Morning Extra. Tug and Los till 10. So, big weekend? Anybody have a big weekend? Did you do anything? Laid low? Or did you hang out with friends yesterday? Are you waking up tired? Are you waking up with a little bit of a sore head? Did any of those things happening, or were you responsible?
I was mature.
You were? Good. Me too.
I mean, I got after it, but then there was a drop dead date.
Yeah.
It was like fourth quarter.
I got to ease off of
Get
this.
some waters.
Yeah, let me start easing
Get a little food in me.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think you're going to be impressed by the conversation that we have here on Extra 106.3. Let's get to the first thing to know this morning.
Way out west, there's a show, the Morning Xtra, the Morning Xtra. Tug so bold, deep in the story, breaking news that's bold.
You would think this morning that the Super Bowl would be the story, but it's not.
29-13, Seattle wins.
That's not the big story of the day. The big story of the day is how well Turning Point USA's counter-programming against the Super Bowl went.
Shocking.
Unbelievable numbers, and Lo's going to have some of those for you in just a moment. I learned late last night that there is a connection to Atlanta with the Turning Point USA broadcast that you saw. I bet you saw. If you're listening to this show, I bet you turned over and watched. It was filmed at Trillith Live, which is down in Fayetteville, and it was filmed on Monday and Tuesday of this past week for the Sunday airing, and most of the people in the crowd were Turning Point USA employees and Chick-fil-A employees. That's the connection to the Turning Point broadcast. I didn't know, had no idea. I mean, they obviously keep these things super secret and super locked down because they want some integrity when they put this thing out there in the broadcast, and probably didn't want people just showing up. So they keep it quiet. But how awesome is it that we have a venue here just south of town that is so exceptional? They're like, hey, we got to go there. We don't want to do it in Nashville. We don't want to.
I thought it was going to be in Nashville.
Of course.
I was under the impression it was going to be in Nashville.
So did I. So was I, dude. I thought for sure. With all the places to film and record in Nashville, it has to be. That's where everybody's at. That's where everybody lives. Nope. They came to Fayetteville, Georgia to do the Turning Point USA broadcast.
Now, let's talk about the important part of this, is that you and I did not expect these sort of numbers.
I didn't.
And in fact, okay, so let's start with you, because your house that you were at, and you were there with what, 3 families?
Yeah, it was two other couples, so 3 couples altogether. Me and my wife, Buddy and his wife, 2 buddies and their wives. We went over there. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what they were going to do for halftime. I had no idea, because they're not overtly political people. They keep up, but they don't live their lives talking politics or consuming politics. So I had no idea. As the clock winds down going into halftime, my buddy picks up the remote, turns off his streaming service. I think it's YouTube TV. Turns on YouTube, the app, and goes straight to the All-American halftime show. I didn't know, because I had already queued it up on my phone.
Were there any looks? Was it like, oh?
Not at all. No.
Here's what's going on?
Here's what we're doing. I guess we were like, all right, man, I'm not in. Nobody. We just talked about the artists that were performing, which that's the next thing that I want to talk about, is the level of artists that they had. Kid Rock, is he a big star? Sure he is.
It's a star.
When's the last time he had a hit?
Oh, we're talking
Picture?
Yeah.
Early
10,
2000?
years?
Yeah, with Sheryl Crow.
Yeah.
That was probably the last hit he had. Is he a big personality? Sure he is.
Yeah. Is he relevant? Is he all? Yes. But as far as, it's not like he's doing arena tours on his own.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And some of his Rock the Country is getting canceled. People pulling out of the, Shinedown, the band Shinedown pulled out. So they canceled the one in Greenville for sure. I know that. Brantley Gilbert, let's talk about him. Has he been a star in country music? Sure he has. When's the last hit he had? I was going back and forth with his production guy. That's how I knew about the Trillith Live thing. He said, we're hoping that this will give him the boost to get him back on the radio, get him back in front of people. So let's call him a B-level act. He just signed a new record deal in October. He and his record label parted ways. So he's looking for a footing. He's looking for another way to get in front of you.
He just did 20 million views at a minimum.
Exactly right. Let's talk about Lee Brice. Guy's had 8 number 1 hits. He's been really successful. It's been a minute since he's had a hit at all. The last few haven't worked. And I'm not saying this to downplay who Lee Brice is, because I think he's a really talented guy. But it's always in music, what's the next hit? What's the next hit? That's the grind.
But I think your big picture of all this, you don't have some sort of iconic star.
The whole point. That's the whole point. As a matter of fact, when Gabby Barrett came on, she was, after Brantley, she was the second person to play, the only artist, the only female artist. She was, the blonde hair. My buddy's wife, who turned it on, he was like, she asked me, hey, who is this? And I said, Gabby Barrett. She had a number one hit called I Hope. It's all about the breakup song, right? And then she had kind of half hit with a song called Good Man, and it is all about, finding the right guy. But there was not a Jason Aldean, top of the list. There wasn't a Luke Bryan. There wasn't a Blake Shelton. There wasn't a Zach Bryan. There wasn't a Luke Combs.
There wasn't some iconic star of country music.
All of this happened because people wanted to make a statement, and they did it. Was the show good? Yes. Were the artists outstanding in performance?
Production's good.
Yes, production's great.
Yep, it was good.
But it was all about, I want to make you understand that I'm tired of what you're doing.
And that's to the tune of $20 million. That's what the numbers came to. In fact, I was looking at this in terms of from a marketing perspective. So when you have a viewer, when it comes to Nielsen and when it comes to Super Bowl, they assume at least 2.5 viewers per household. So the Super Bowl has, and that doesn't happen with every event, but 2.5 million per household. So they're just an assumption. So if you have 30 people in your house, you're not going to get, it's not going to be
you're
all
not getting
30.
that credit, yeah.
But that's why the numbers are what they are. If you had, and it turns out about, when you look at all the data across everything, when you had 11 million people, you had 5 million from YouTube, you had several million from Rumble, when you had about 11 million people that left the Super Bowl broadcast or decided to take part in this other broadcast, you're talking about now going 11 million times 2.5.
Oh, wow.
So you're talking now, the numbers as it works, if we're going with what the Nielsen reported as far as the NFL, and this was all from, by the way, you can read all this information from Tyler Farnsworth, marketing executive, gets into this. You're talking about losing 22% of the households in America.
Buddy, if that doesn't tell you everything.
This was much bigger than you think it was.
And when you see on social media, people say, okay, they got 5 million people watching. We had 127 million because I saw that over and over and over again. The libs on my Facebook feed, they're all saying, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's nothing. That's nothing in comparison. Oh, but you don't realize.
So I went to a marketing professional within this building and gave him the numbers because, again, he knows.
Inside and out. It's what he does for a living.
And I said, what if I told you that you just bought the sponsorship for the halftime show and 22% of the audience disappeared? He's like, I'm super upset.
And so were the people that spent the money.
Yes. That's the game.
Dude,
you lost 22% of the audience.
Avalanche. We knew it was good. Like we came in, the first thing we talked about this morning was how good it was. Couldn't believe it.
I listened to it this morning on the way in, and I thought that was really well done. It was really well produced. And more than anything, and this is a simple human standpoint, I understood it all.
More than right, that too. But more than production, more than the presentation. That was good, yes. But I mean, it was good. The number,
yes.
When we thought it was 5.5 or 6.2 or whatever the end number.
Start digging into it. It was a pretty substantial number of people. Again, because remember, Nielsen's telling you, as you were in that house, when one person went over to YouTube, that's supposed to represent 2.5. How many were there in that house?
6.
All right. The same thing, like in the house I was in, there were 30 people there. There was 20 adults. Now that counts as 2.5, but that's how many. And in the house that I was at, they were the ones asking about,
what
about this?
Yeah, what's this other one that I keep hearing about?
Right. And they're not politically inclined. That's not what they do every single day.
Same with my group, dude.
And they were asking me about it.
Dude, so back to my original word, good. Yes, the production was good, but we were talking, I specifically meant the numbers. we thought they were really good. Dude, with that, what you just said, that's an avalanche. That's not good. That's exceptional.
Yes.
That's unexpected. Nobody, I bet the people at Turning Point didn't expect avalanche like that. They thought, we'll make an impression. We're going to peel off some people. We're going to tell them about the Lord. We're going to give them a good message. We're going to tell them why it's good to read your Bible and it's good to wave the red, white, and blue and be, a patriotic American. They had no idea what you just shared was coming.
Counter-programming no one counter-programs the NFL.
Because why would you?
No one. Because nobody wins. It's the reason why the NBA has given up basically Christmas Day. It's like, we have 5 or 6 games on. The NFL puts 2 NFL games on. They murder the NBA's number. College football doesn't even bother to try and schedule any of their playoff games on NFL dates because there's no reason to do it.
They took the Monday instead of doing the Saturday, which is normally college football day, for the national championship.
So they would avoid the NFL behemoth. But the NFL made a mistake. The NFL tried to push globalism at you. And if you didn't like it, their response from the liberal media is, well, you're racist. So it just adds to that level of, well, go F yourself. In fact, one of the marketing people I spoke to, who's a professional, he's like, I didn't like it. He's like, but in my house, now I'm a racist.
Yeah, because his kids have been taught in school.
They've been pushed. What do you mean you didn't like it? I didn't like it. Well, what are you, racist?
Dude, that's because that's the go-to.
No, because I don't speak Spanish.
I have no idea what was being said. Is the beat good? Sure.
If you could hear it.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, right? If you could hear it.
The other thing Bryce brought up, it wasn't like it was from a production angle. Like I said, look cool, couldn't hear it.
But MS Now wants you to think that it was the greatest thing.
Historic.
That's right.
Well, historic because it was in Spanish.
That's right.
All right, guess what? You can put it in Mongolian and it's historic.
That's right, because it's never happened before. And it was counter-programmed. People thought strongly enough about what the NFL has become and has started to represent versus what my values as an American are, and I'm going to take on the behemoth. I'm going to take on the giant. I'm going to be Jack and the Beanstalk and see if I can take down this giant. And I don't know if they took him completely down.
Oh, they learned a lesson.
He definitely taught him a lesson.
They learned a lesson is what happens. Remember, no one else counter-programs the NFL. No one. And yet, Turning Point USA, in their vision, saw, hey, there's a problem with that armor. There's a hole right there.
I know where to hit it.
And I know where to hit it. I know how to exploit this thing.
David versus Goliath is probably the better example because it's biblical.
And listen, Goliath's always going to win in this case when it comes to the NFL.
And they will.
But Madison Avenue, like in New York right now, they're talking about, look at these numbers. And
this can't happen.
This can't happen again. We can never be counter-programmed where 22% of our audience goes to another program during our biggest event of the year.
John just reached out and said he watched the halftime show on OAN News. I wonder if that's taking in all those broadcast numbers. Because I didn't even know it was on that station.
I didn't know it was on OAN.
I've been trying to look for official numbers, and so far I've seen 3. I've seen 135.4, 142.3, and 155 for Bad Bunny million.
Okay.
So I can't find a true official number for what it is.
No, the numbers as of right now is that there was 120 million viewers. And that's typical for the Super Bowl.
That's what it normally is.
The problem is how many people left.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Now, put it this way. If he did 150-something, okay, that's a Michael Jackson number. That didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Okay?
Well, especially knowing what the counter-programming...
Knowing that it's in Spanish.
Well, that and what the counter-programming, what we know it did, because you could see it on YouTube.
You could see.
5.2 million was the last thing I saw.
That's what I'm able to go to YouTube and see the amount of times that production has been streamed, and as of now, it's at 19 million. Concurrent is when it was on at the same time as the Super Bowl. When you go across the board, it looks like you had about, again, you had 11 million concurrent. By Nielsen numbers, you 2.5 that. That's how the Super Bowl is calculated. So that means you had about 22.5 million, which means if you started off the Super Bowl at 150 million people, You had 20% of your audience that left.
And the artist that performed for the Super Bowl, they said he's the biggest artist in all of music, right? That's the reason you take the biggest artists, right? These iconic, these marquee artists. And the little Turning Point USA took some B-listers and had a hit because they had a message. They had something that people were looking for. Was it positivity? Was it faith? Was it the love of country? Or was it all three? Or was it, I want to make a statement. I want to let the NFL know I don't care for what you're doing. You've been doing this to me for 5 years at least. With the whole, all these political angles, and it's run off people like me. I used to love the NFL. I used to love watching the Falcons get the daylights beat out of them every Sunday and reveling in it. Man, it sucks to be a Falcons fan. And I just don't love it anymore. They already lost me. How many other people will they lose? Is it going to take down Goliath? No, I'm not saying that.
But it's going to make them notice.
But it's going to get their attention.
Another quick thing, just thinking about how many people just left their TVs on. How much of that is
being calculated? Yeah, it could be.
Because for Turning Point, that's 5 million people at least live that clicked on.
Yeah, that you could see the number.
You can see the number.
That actually clicked. That's such a great point.
You know how much was accessed.
Like, you had to make the effort to go do it.
Yes.
If you were watching the Super Bowl and you just left the TV on, it was just on.
And again,
it was an effort to go watch.
If you're just going by your Nielsen numbers, the understanding of 2.5 for every single one of those.
Dude, unreal.
Even again, you can leave your TV on and be like, they had 150 million viewers for the Super Bowl. Yeah, but you had 22 million people that decided to check out something else concurrently with the halftime show. While in your stadium of 72,000, nobody was moving or enjoying it.
I mean, those situations are stale to begin with oftentimes, right? I mean, it's kind of corporate.
Oh, it's terrible, yeah.
However, throw that on top of it, and it sinks down even worse.
Keep telling me about how historic it was.
That's what they're telling you.
It was amazing.
On MS Now this morning.
Yes, as they have old white guys, liberals, that are telling you about how perfect it was, who couldn't understand a word that was said.
But it was great, they say. Aunt Peg this morning thinks it was historic. She thinks it was the greatest thing.
She can't translate a word of it.
She was asleep in the first quarter.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to use their logic against them, she doesn't know what she's talking about, and I'm brown, so who wins there?
That's right. Absolutely.
European don't matter, Aunt Peg.
That's right.
Vaya con Dios.
Wrong again. I love you, Aunt
Bryce,
Peg.
that means go with God.
8 o'clock hours brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Your Atlanta carrier expert, 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
I habla Spanish so hard.
That's right. And we're going to continue doing Spanish lessons all morning long. That way, next time this happens, you can understand what's being said.
Puerto Rico baño.
Have you heard? Trump has built a clickdatorship. Next on Extra.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Los. Let's talk about Echo and Howard Brothers Spring. It's just around the corner, and the last thing you want to do is spend all your weekends on yard work. You understand that when your equipment isn't running correctly, and you end up, what am I got going on here? Oh, I've got to go get some more fuel. Well, what's wrong with this belt? You don't want to deal with any of that. Instead, head on over to Howard Brothers. Echo Power Equipment takes the hassle out of work, so chore time doesn't take away from your time. Find your own trusted professional-grade Echo equipment at Howard Brothers. They have the best equipment selection and price available. Their team is ready to serve you and help you plan your spring the right way. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Echo and with Howard Brothers.
The president has drawn a clear line. Law and order must come first, and surrendering to mob pressure just invites more chaos. As these complicated stories unfold, you need the most trusted local and national voices of Extra 106.3 to make sense of it all. And most importantly, how it affects your family and your community. Proud to be Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Don't believe this nonsense you see on TV commercials about how uncomfortable a CPAP mask is. Take it from me. You wear one, especially the nasal pillow I use, for one night, and you will fight anybody that tries to take it away from you. But if they do take it away from you, you can get more at cpapsetcetera.com, cpapsetc.com. With a store in Alpharetta, same-day shipping. To your health, cpapsetc.com.
For a lot of drivers, the question isn't, should I buy a Toyota? It's, where should I buy it? Because the dealership matters long after the paperwork is signed. My good friends at Marietta Toyota, well, they've built their reputation the right way. Trust, consistency, and of course, most importantly, taking care of the neighbors and customers for over 50 years, proudly serving the Marietta area since 1975. You get real selection, straightforward answers, and a team that respects your time. Here's the difference most dealerships don't include. Every new Toyota comes with our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty. That's valid for unlimited time and unlimited mileage for as long as you own your Toyota. That's long-term confidence backed by Toyota quality and supported by a full team here after the sale with service and genuine Toyota parts on Cobb Parkway South. It's time for you to visit Marietta Toyota on Cobb Parkway South, about 3 miles north of Truist Park. Marietta Toyota. We've been here, and we'll be here for you.
Nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty included with every new Toyota purchase. See dealer for coverage details, exclusions, and requirements.
0 is a powerful number. It can mean you have nothing, but it's really powerful when it means you pay nothing. That's where Dobbs Heating and Air comes in. Right now, the Dobbs family is offering a $0 10-year labor warranty on all new HVAC systems. If you think you might need a new system soon, now is the time to install a new unit with Dobbs Heating and Air for that $0 10-year warranty. That means $0 repairs for 10 years. Great deals, even better service. That's Dobbs HVAC. Get started at DobbsHVAC.com. That's DobbsHVAC.com.
Let me share Brian's story. He's in Alabama, and he wrote in, he said, Glenn, after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and I am amazed at the relief that I have gotten. Those are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do. And I've seen that kind of transformation in myself, and hearing Brian's experience reinforces why I take endorsing Relief Factor so seriously. Before I started taking Relief Factor myself, I was losing hope that I could ever have a normal life again. My hands were in so much pain. It's created by doctors, 100% drug-free product using 4 key ingredients. It supports the body's natural inflammatory response. Hundreds of thousands of people have ordered Relief Factor, and like Brian and me, over 2/3 of these people go on to order more month after month. So don't wait. If you're dealing with pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Call 800-4RELIEF or go to relieffactor.com. Don't wait anymore. Feel what it's like to be out of pain. 1-800-4RELIEF.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Monday, February 9th, and here are your headlines. North Cobb Christian School is highlighting a new education tax program that will allow donors to send money towards scholarships for students while receiving a state tax credit. School leaders say the change will expand access and help families afford private education, and they're encouraging community support for the program as it rolls out. A former Atlanta Braves player has died unexpectedly at the age of 34. The Braves confirmed the death of Georgia native Terrence Gore, who also played for the Royals, Dodgers, Cubs, and Mets. Known as one of baseball's fastest players, Gore was a key part of Kansas City's 2015 World Series and built a career as an elite pinch runner and postseason base-stealing threat. And finally, Georgia lawmakers have introduced a bill targeting high school athlete name, image, and likeness deals, aiming to regulate how student athletes can profit in the state. Sponsors say the proposal would set clear rules and protections for schools and players, balancing opportunities with fairness and educational priorities. Today's weather is partly cloudy with a high of 64 and a low of 44. With the Extra 1063 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
The fascination of what Turning Point USA was able to do is still... Los and I, even during the break, we're just talking about how for Turning Point, you had to actively engage. You made a concerted effort. You made a choice. I'm going to leave this content and go find this content, this other content. And Los had a great point in the fact that with Bad Bunny, we can't really tell you how many people watched Bad Bunny.
The active defense from the left is, well, there was 120 million viewers. Well, there was 130. Well, the game had that. They didn't show up to watch Bad Bunny.
That's right.
We know concurrently how many started accessing the time allotted, here's what time this thing is going live broadcast. That's where we're able to talk about concurrent viewers. That's how we can tell you as far as somebody, millions, decided to access a completely different broadcast that was in conjunction to the halftime broadcast. So you can tell me all about Bad Bunny to 120 million.
Did he?
I know the game did.
Yeah, that's right. Did he?
And then at some point during the game, 120 million people, there was another 22 million that jumped to another broadcast.
What is the likelihood that somebody had no interest in the Super Bowl and they're like, you know what? That halftime show, that's got my interest. I think I'll go turn on the Super Bowl to be able to watch the halftime show. How many times do you think that happened? Because I bet it's a minuscule number.
So the numbers were split in the house I was in. There was an equal number of adult women as adult men. It was married couples. The adult women, every single time we've had a Super Bowl in recent years, they end it by, that was cool. Hey, I'm going to go listen to Missy Elliott tomorrow. Yeah. Man, that was a good show. There wasn't a word. There was not one word after it was done. It was like, okay.
Yeah. All right. Same.
And they're supposed to be the ones, right? They're supposed to be the ones that they're,
that's
halftime show.
That's the audience that they're going for. That's who they're trying to entertain. They already know you have, that they have all the dudes.
Yeah, you got me. I'm already going to be here.
Fan. Yeah. Same thing from a few years ago when Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. Same way. After it was over, I told the story of my son and his buds coming upstairs. They were about 16 years old and going, hey, who was that again? I don't really know who that was, but wow.
That's Shakira.
Yeah.
And we were all just waiting. Yeah. It's like, when is she going to do her famous Shakira thing?
Yeah. And she did it multiple times.
And then she did, and we all went, thank you.
Yeah, that's right. And 16-year-old boys were like, her hips really don't lie.
Listen, that made a lot of 35-year-old men tell their wives, you see that treadmill over there? You might want to consider that a little bit more. You
There's
get
a lot of
those things.
Couches slept on that night.
That's right.
You know that gym membership that's gotten a little bit you better get back in there.
We pay $70 a month for us to go.
You better make it look like Shakira's.
That's right.
It's just work.
They would bounce pass it back to me. My wife would, at least up until about 8 months ago, would have bounced back and be like, yeah, I ain't seen you in the gym either. But now nobody can say that. I'm getting there with regularity.
That's why Tug does it.
That's
so
right.
He's got that power.
My out.
Hey, why don't you do this? I'm in there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them Shakira hips.
That's right. He's trying to get that Shakira booty.
Yeah, that's right. And lose some of this belly too. I would like to maybe lose a little of that too. But if I could get my hips to not lie, I mean, I'd be in for that too. I'd be in for that. Los, when I read this, I was like, he's doing what? He's created what?
The left has made up a new term.
Again? I feel like they do that with some sort of frequency.
So in the Atlantic over the weekend, there was an article about the clicktatorship. It's like, what is a clicktatorship? What exactly do you mean?
Clicktatorship.
Now, the article was Donald Trump has built a clicktatorship. This is by Donald Moynihan. And it talks about how the headline from the Atlantic is the Trump administration has fueled a social media worldview with authoritarian tendencies. And in this clicktatorship, Donald Moynihan argues, quote, judgment and decision-making are hyper-responsive to what's happening on the far-right internet. All right, so here's the fun part about this article. For the better part of a decade, Donald Trump has had better ideas than the establishment.
Yeah.
The Republicans and Democrats on either side. In fact, in the last 4 years, when we saw what happened with the Biden administration, is not almost every decision that has come out of this administration a better decision? Real world inflation's at 1%. The number overall is at 2.1. We had, and again, I'm not a big on talking about the stock market outside of it. Makes the 529s blow up for the girls.
Right. 401k maybe.
50,000. All right, we are humming. We're talking about we're going to get somewhere into the 4 to 5 GDP. The tariffs have made us billions. They have cut down our trade deficit from like 160 billion to like 20 billion. All right, everything is humming. And here's the problem. The Atlantic and the Democrats have no ideas of their own. So their only idea is, well, let's call it far right on the internet and call it a clicktatorship. No, you just don't have any good ideas. And the establishment doesn't at all.
And when you were winning, it's because you were censoring everybody that had an opposite opinion of you.
Thank you. You had to censor anyone who had a difference of opinion that was not yours.
And you can go back and count how many situations they did that in. They did it with COVID. They did it with January 6th. They did it with the Russiagate. They did it with stolen election.
Did it with the laptop.
Did it with the laptop, Hunter
It was
Biden's laptop.
censored.
Everything that they've been successful with has been because you won't allow somebody else to have a counterpoint.
That they were wrong, too, by the way.
Well, of course. Yeah, all of it was propaganda.
Hey, we're wrong, but we need this propaganda. Let's make sure to censor the other side. So now, if it's not being censored and it's a free speech environment, well, apparently free speech, according to The Atlantic, is now far-right internet.
Well, what did Hillary?
Clicktatorship.
What did Hillary say?
She said we needed to control the messaging.
That's exactly right. What did CEO of NPR?
Talked about how truth can get in the way
of what we need done.
Yeah.
That's essentially what she
Sometimes the truth can be a hindrance to progress.
That's exactly. Dude, that's word for word. That's a good pull. Because I couldn't remember exactly what she said.
Feel pretty good about that one.
Yeah, that's a good pull.
I hope I'm pretty close to that. But
no, you are.
But
You are.
clicktatorship. This is like my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law makes up scenarios where she's right.
Oh,
the left makes up words
to make
and
sure
phrases.
they're right. Yeah. How do we build this narrative, this creation to show how right we are, while we know actually we're really wrong and we can't win without cheating, we can't win without censorship. God.
Again,
so frustrating, dude.
I joke around about it. You have two choices right now in this country, and it's really what it's down to. It's, do you want to ride with success, or do you want to bring back failure? And within that failure is a level of madness that believes that if a woman is a lesbian, then that side needs to cut her breasts off, take off a piece of her hamstring, turn it into a ween, and attach it to her.
While for the rest of that person's life, they will need medical care that is really, really expensive.
Think about it. Their failure is then coupled with madness.
Yeah.
Because under no circumstances is what I described to you in 10 years, in 20 years, we're going to be like, really? That's what they were doing? In 10 years, you're going to sit back and say, is that criminal? Like, it should be.
It's already been proven.
It's already been proven.
And
you're liable for it.
We found that out this year. So, yes, in 20 years, people will be like, what they did? What?
So if I'm just saying that I believe we should keep rolling with this far-right clicktatorship, oh, what if we're just talking about, how about decent ideas for Main Street America? Because we get to have our definitions of what this stuff is. To Monahan over here, it's a far-right clicktatorship, far-right internet. No, how about it's just general Americans having common sense ideas and they're being rewarded by a president that's actually listening to them?
It seems like the right place to be. That the fruits of your labor benefit you, and you have the opportunity. You have opportunity to grow a 401k, to grow a 529, to start a business, to live the American dream, to be able to afford a rent and then eventually a down payment. And that's what we're headed toward.
And as it was brought up last week, the more people that we get rid of who are not supposed to be here, they're going to put them in concentration camps. Yeah. No, listen, we're deporting them. Okay, that's just what it is. The more that you deport that are not supposed to be here, the more that your home and rent prices come down. It's just supply and demand. It's real simple. It's not complicated. And
basic economics.
And the sad part about it is that you oftentimes have where it's like 4 or 5 people, especially in some of these smaller towns where they have like these meat packing facilities. This is one of the games that gets played. The owner will kick out the current tenant, drive the price up, and have 5 people living in a 2-bedroom house, and then that's how they end up making even more money off this stuff. Suddenly, those 5 people are sent off by ICE, and guess what happens? The other tenant can move back in at a lesser rate.
It happened in Ohio.
It's happened all over Ohio.
We had a specific story about a slumlord basically doing the exact same thing. He owned the meatpacking facility. He owned many of the houses, the rental houses around that area. Just like Lo said, kicked tenants out, brought in people, and he basically cordoned off. It wasn't a living room and some bedrooms. It was bedrooms and some bedrooms. Yeah. Everything was turned into just a sleeping quarter.
Just a sleeping quarter.
Unbelievable, man.
But when they're gone, suddenly everything comes down. Now, and I was also thinking about it in these terms because I keep going through like the wildest stuff in the world. If that means that my president every now and then says that Haitians are eating dogs, it's fine.
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Is he right? I don't know. Is he wrong? I don't know. Doesn't bother me either way.
Yeah, exactly right.
Keep the vote going.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Keep doing what you're doing. It's working.
Because the people you have assembled around you are pretty remarkable, led by Scott Besson, especially in the Treasury when it comes to economics.
Every time I get I can't believe Donald Trump said this or did this, I go, that's fine. Doesn't bother me none.
Shoulder shrug.
Yeah. You know what? It's like what my mama told me. Words aren't going to hurt me.
It's a big deal if you make it a big deal.
I don't make it a big deal.
That's what I used to tell my son.
Yeah.
When he was a kid, he'd mess up something. I was like, dude, it's not a big deal if you don't make it a big deal. Yeah. Let it go. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay.
It's not going to change my day.
That's right. That's exactly right. John Ossoff here in town, he said Trump is closing rural clinics and hospitals to give tax breaks, of course, to rich people, right? That's the talking point. That's the narrative. But wait till you hear who he's supposedly giving, according to John Ossoff, he's giving the tax breaks to. George Soros and Elon Musk. Maybe if you were inclined to believe the BS, if you're inclined to believe Senator Ossoff, you'd be like, okay, Elon Musk, at least I can believe that. I know they have a relationship. George Soros is a globalist who hates Donald Trump. Why? Why in the world? If Donald Trump's the most corrupt president in the world, like y'all say he is, why then would he give a tax break to the guy that funds everything the left wants to do? That makes no sense whatsoever.
They couldn't possibly be on more opposite sides of the spectrum when it comes to their politics. They can both be billionaires, and hey, you're both in the billionaire club. Donald Trump is a nationalist. That is not what you're getting out of George Soros.
One more point I want to make. I want you to hear him say it so you don't think it's just me making it up.
Trump was supposed to fight for the working class. Instead, he's literally closing rural clinics and hospitals to cut taxes for George Soros and Elon Musk.
Okay.
How did you make yourself out to be I'm the great warrior against George Soros?
Doesn't even make any sense.
What a dork.
But then on top of that, Los, he didn't name one hospital. He didn't name one city. Not one rural community. Like, he's got all this evidence, but he didn't name any of them? He didn't name any. It reminds me of when that group of senators that were saying, well, Donald Trump's giving out all these unlawful orders. Now, military men and women don't follow these orders.
Name one.
Name one. It didn't work then. And John Ossoff, it's not working now. Nobody buys that, man.
You notice how that went away when Mark Kelly stood down?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, hey, listen, we got you by the jingly janglies.
And you know it.
You want to keep it quiet now? Shh. Go to sleep now.
That's exactly right.
Go to sleep, little astronaut.
Night. It's time to go to sleep.
Go sleep.
Could not give you one. Oh, and by the way.
Space is stupid, by the way. He went there.
Yeah, that's right. He couldn't name one hospital. But just so you know, this is a guy that voted against a $218.9 million rural health care funding that would have been here in Georgia. Just so you know who's actually working against the rural hospitals in the state that you live in. And while we're putting the cherry on top, tying it in a bow, more than 70 billionaires made direct contributions to John Ossoff since 2017 in his house or in his special election run. So some of those donors: George Soros, Alex Soros, Reid Hoffman, J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. Just saying, if you're wondering who's canoodling.
If you go to space, I mean, it kind of ruins your career anyway.
Why do you think that?
It just doesn't work for anybody.
Well, it's not made anybody like a grip of money that I can tell. Maybe Elon is probably.
He hasn't gone to space.
Well, no, but I was thinking the people maybe. It's not even Elon. It would be Bezos.
See?
He's the one that's.
How's that working out for him with the Washington Post?
Not well.
I told you.
Not well.
Space is stupid.
It jiggles up your brain or something.
Don't go.
Don't go. I love it. Anyway, when we come back, 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta Carrier experts. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. You can't reason with people, and you'll know this by dealing with crazy people, which I'm sure you have at home or at work or wherever, in the community maybe even. You can't reason with people who just want to destroy whatever it is that they don't like. In this case, the United States of America. Next on Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Monday, February 9th. The Seattle Seahawks are the Super Bowl champions after beating the New England Patriots 29-13 last night. Running back Kenneth Walker was named the game's MVP after rushing for 135 yards. Kicker Jason Myers set a Super Bowl record, hitting 5 field goals in the game. The Seattle Seahawks defense sacked Patriots quarterback Drake May 6 times in the ball game. Over the weekend around the NFL, Atlanta Falcons pass rusher James Pierce Jr. arrested in Florida on a multitude of charges, including 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated stalking, fleeing or eluding police, and resisting an officer. The incident stems from a domestic violence dispute in which Pierce Jr. reportedly crashed his car into his ex-girlfriend's car a multitude of times. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Oh no, what is that sound?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own. When it's not hard, it's really hard. But I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
You know, Los, we found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee.
How do you prove that?
We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal.
How much can people save when they buy their next vehicle with the Honest Car Guy?
I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000. But it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%. Well, really, it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. The Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, try the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station.
I mean, I started talk radio in the days of the Vietnam War. The arguments were pretty simple back then compared to the way they are today. Is the domino theory legitimate? Do we have a real interest in stopping the spread of communism in Southeast Asia? What are the arguments today? What is a woman? Can you wrap your head around that? The Democrat Party, most people who call themselves Democrats cannot answer that question.
Bortz weighs in with commentary every day and is live with the Morning Extra on Tuesdays. Atlanta Talk Radio legends are only on Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los on Extra 106.3. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand. Interesting. There were prop bets for the Super Bowl last night about which Seattle band would be played first. I don't know the answer, but the first one I heard was Alice in Chains as we're listening to Soundgarden bringing us back.
I couldn't hear.
Yeah, I know, right? You said it's volume
halftime
down.
and
this was the way it was set up at the place that we watched. And again, it was just, three couples, kind of a quiet. You could hear what was going on, but they also had a TV in the kitchen. So when you went in to have fix a drink or whatever, you could hear what was happening there. But I understand exactly what you mean. Most people probably didn't hear the overwhelming majority of anything that happened because it's such a social event. People are there to hang out. And
couldn't hear the game broadcast, couldn't hear the commercials, what it was. You know what I could hear?
What's that?
The cha-ching of hitting all four last night for $125.
There we go. What were they? What were your bets?
So I am the worst person at that party for the Super Bowl because
you're cheering for your bets.
Well, yeah,
that too.
I wasn't going to go crazy about the Patriots.
Yeah,
but I walked in and I also had my old man reach out to me. He's like, "What do you like tonight?" And I was like, "I like punts." He was like, "Really?" I was like, "I like punts
with a lot of defense."
I was like, "We're going to see a lot of defense." Yep. Punts, when it came to New England, it was the line was 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I had that at half. They had 8 on the game.
Yeah.
When it came to Seattle, the line was 3.5. They had 7. I had that first drive at a half. I took the over on passing yards because it was a free one from Drake May, which was a half.
Yeah.
And Sam Darnold passing yards was 237.5. I took the under. He came in at 202.
Bingo.
So, but every single time, like we would get to 3rd and 4, I was like, punt!
Please!
You should just punt!
I don't know what y'all are waiting on.
And then it took the guys that I was watching with a little while to realize that
he's got money
like,
on
he's
this.
like, he's playing only punts, isn't he? He's like, yes, he is. They're like, how much are you playing this for? I was like, I made it for $25. Like, how much do you win? I go, $125. And they're like, oh.
Yeah, that's a nice little number.
It's pretty good little run here.
For
I didn't
sure.
hit any of mine.
Oh, you didn't, Bryce?
Yeah, I only do it for like special events like Super Bowl and stuff.
You should have reached out to your boy. I would have given you punts.
Like, what was the worst miss that you had, Bryce?
I mainly did like second half because I didn't get mine in time. The one I had before the game was Ramondre Stevenson rushing yards. It was at like 49.5, and he got nowhere near it.
Yeah. Well, Los can help you moving forward. That way you know.
Good to know.
I'm here for you.
That's right, to help you and your pocketbook and your wallet.
It gives you my winning total, which we don't share this with the wife, but I just say that.
And the likelihood of her listening to us is less than 0.
It's less. We're in good shape there, but I mean, I can't trust some of y'all because some of y'all throw some stuff out there, but that's the total. So.
Where am I looking?
Right there on the right.
Oh, wow.
So just let him know, that Bryce, that if you play with me, it could be worth thousands.
Oh, in my college days, I was pretty successful.
Okay. Well,
not pretty. I mean, it was decent.
I don't know. I just saw this number, and that's
that one looks successful.
That looks like that's a really.
Oh, I have
really
a buddy
who
had like 3 accounts on like different apps, like Prize Picks and stuff like that.
That sounds sick.
And he had like an account with $8,000, $4,000. Like, it was impressive.
Again, if I just having seen what I just saw, I would encourage you maybe to partner. Drop your buddy.
Let me know.
Partner with Front Office Los.
Listen, Vanilla Ice said it one time. Drop the 0 and get with the hero. Cold as ice.
Cold as ice, baby. Which would have made a better halftime show. You know, Turning Point would have probably lost. They would have had 5,000 versus 5 million.
That Lady Gaga cameo was terrible.
Dude, I'm not a fan of hers to begin with. So I think when I was fully done, like I was never in, but when A Star Was Born came out and my wife drugged me to see that movie, and by the end of it, I was like, this is the worst bullcrap I've ever seen.
She was great in the second Joker movie.
Yeah,
I thought that movie was great.
I didn't even see that one. I was out. I'm out on Lady Gaga. And let's not make this about Bad Bunny. I have no ill will toward Bad Bunny. I just don't know anything he sings. And then if I would have watched, which I didn't, I watched the Turning Point halftime show. Even if I did watch, I wouldn't know anything he sings because he and I don't speak the same language apparently. And there was this, I don't even know if this is real, so I don't even. Maybe I shouldn't bring it up, but maybe somebody can verify it. Like there was days leading into the Super Bowl, and the picture of him in a dress burning the American flag kept popping up.
No, it's not real.
It's not real? Okay,
it's total
good.
AI.
I'm glad. That makes me feel at least some better about this.
No, total AI.
Good news. That's why I wanted to ask, because I had no idea. I just kept seeing it pop up, and I was like, what is this? I had never seen it before, and it sprung up so last minute, it put the question mark behind it.
You should just assume moving forward everything's AI.
Yeah.
Until you don't. Everything should always be the assumption that it's AI or AI video generated, no matter what it is.
A lot of commercials were AI generated.
Dude, I saw that too. There was so much AI in the ads. There's a new one, Service Pro. And the only reason I know it's Service Pro is because Lori Morgan, the country singer, sings their jingle. The woman in it is a completely AI generated woman. Redhead, girl next door looking, and if you look closely, you're like, oh, wait, she's not even real. That's not even a real person. Surprise, surprise, that most you see is not. The Kings who paid for the No Kings protests across America. Talk about that, and we'll get into the Super Bowl conversation, the halftime, the TPUSA success story. After a Neil Bortz report and a Fox News update on Xtra 106.3.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another edition of Told Ya I Was Right All Along. Over the years, I've had to argue with a lot of people who think there is a right to vote in the United States, that the U.S. Constitution guarantees it. No, it doesn't. There is no constitutional right to vote. So for a little backup, I went to AI. Instead of Bortz intelligence, we'll rely on artificial intelligence. I asked the question, here's the answer. The United States Constitution does not grant a universal right to vote to American citizens. The Constitution treats voting as a state-controlled privilege. Instead of a right to vote, the Constitution in the 15th, 19th, 24th, and 25th Amendments simply tells the states that they cannot deny people whatever right they may have under state law to vote due to race, sex, poll taxes, or age. But whatever right you have to vote comes from the state, not from the U.S. Constitution. So under a section entitled Bottom Line, there is no constitutional right to vote. There are constitutional limits on how states may restrict voting, but the right exists because states grant it, not the U.S. Constitution. Why is this important? Well, 49 of the 50 states do constitutionally grant a right to vote to their citizens. Arizona does not. But this is important because any of those states, if they see abuses of this right, can, on their own, without the U.S. government involvement or the Supreme Court, change that guarantee and start putting reasonable restrictions on voting, such as IDs, no criminal history, you name it. Now that that's straightened out, let's set about getting people out of the polls who have no business being there. Neil Bortz, Xtra 106.3.
The wait is over. The Atlanta Braves 2026 gate giveaways are here, and this season is loaded with must-have items. Fans can expect incredible giveaway series, including the legendary Alumni Collection, featuring some of your favorite Braves greats, and the crossover jersey collection, bringing Braves style to basketball, football, hockey, and soccer jerseys. And that's not all. The giveaways keep coming with some brand new favorites, like the Bobble Card Series, part bobblehead, part baseball card, plus a Hawaiian shirt, a cowboy hat, and so much more. And you know we can't forget about the kids. Every Sunday home game features a Kids Gate giveaway with special items like sunglasses, just like the players wear, mini Michael Harris II and Drake Baldwin bobbleheads, and the crossover sports jerseys come in kids sizes too. Check out the full giveaway schedule and grab your tickets now at Braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves baseball. We are Braves country.
Need advice on getting things fixed up around the house? No matter how big or small that project is, we've got your answers. Listen to us on the All Four Seasons Home Show presented by the Trusted Toolbox. Join Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage Entry Doors and Windows, and me, Chris Lalamia, your favorite handyman from the Trusted Toolbox, as we tackle all the issues, fixes, and honeydew projects around your home. Join us every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. or grab the podcast anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Extra 106.3.
She's been missing for 9 days. CJ Papa, Fox News, and today comes with a second deadline as the tension is rising, as Fox's Matt Finn explains from Tucson, Arizona.
Today is the final day for the Guthrie family to pay out millions of dollars demanded by these alleged captors of their 84-year-old mother, Nancy. Now, yesterday, Fox Digital captured investigators using a pole to probe what appears to be a water hole or drainage pipe behind Nancy Guthrie's home here. Also on Saturday, Fox Digital captured investigators at the home of Savannah's sister Annie, apparently taking pictures on the property at night. Law enforcement in unmarked cars spent about 2.5 hours at the sister's house Saturday night, which is about 4 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's home.
That's Fox's Matt Finn. A vote in the House expected sometime this week on the SAVE Act, backing voter ID to ensure only U.S. citizens can cast ballots in U.S. elections. New York Republican Congresswoman Claudia Tenney on Sunday Morning Futures.
Unfortunately, Chuck Schumer is holding this hostage in this funding bill that's coming up. Let's hope we can get this passed and have common sense. The only reason not to vote for this bill is that you want to cheat in our elections, to let non-citizens vote and to undermine election integrity. That's it. That's it.
Pennsylvania Democratic Senator John Fetterman agrees.
Me, as a Democrat, I do not believe that it's unreasonable or to show ID just to vote. And I remind everybody that less than a year ago in Wisconsin, they added that to the Constitution by a 63%, passing.
Speaker Mike Johnson has a tight margin to pass the bill. Officials in Providence, Rhode Island, releasing new video footage this morning from the shooting at Brown University, December 13th. They say they took out the most graphic and violent images. The gunman killed 2, injured 9. America's listening to Fox News.
Let me share Brian's story. He's in Alabama, and he wrote in, he said, Glenn, after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and I am amazed at the relief that I have gotten. Those are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do. And I've seen that kind of transformation in myself, and hearing Brian's experience reinforces why I take endorsing Relief Factor so seriously. Before I started taking Relief Factor myself, I was losing hope that I could ever have a normal life again. My hands were in so much pain. It's created by doctors, 100% drug-free product using 4 key ingredients. It supports the body's natural inflammatory response. Hundreds of thousands of people have ordered Relief Factor, and like Brian and me, over 2/3 of these people go on to order more month after month. So don't wait. If you're dealing with pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Call 800-4RELIEF or go to relieffactor.com. Don't wait anymore. Feel what it's like to be out of pain. 1-800-4RELIEF.
I wake up every morning with the Morning Xtra.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los until 10. Got another hour of the show. If you missed any of it, you can go back and listen to the first 3 hours on the Extra 106.3 app. Always available for you there. Free and easy to listen to. Easy to get, easy to access. it's something that you want to hear.
It's like an old friend.
It is very much like, yes.
Who won't die.
No.
Well, sometimes they might have a little hiccup, a technical glitch that occurs with our systems, and that's not on anybody in the building.
No.
Sometimes weird stuff happens.
It does, yeah, absolutely.
But we try to make up for it by doing another show the next day.
Yeah, that's right. We try to come back even
and
stronger.
the day after that.
Yes,
That's right.
Bryce, thank you.
Bryce told us, because, I mean, he's pretty strong with this thing. He's like, I'm going to work you like the Amish. He's like, you're going to do whatever Kimmer does plus 30%.
Lord, have you ever seen the Amish build a barn?
It's incredible.
Dude, I'm so fascinated by those people.
They work so well, so fast.
And there's a bit of me that thinks maybe it was them that got it right the whole time, not us. Not the people that are involved in, the craziness of the world.
It's the work ethic.
Yeah, they keep
along with their
simplicity,
general simplicity and moral values.
Yes. I think maybe they got it right and we all got it wrong.
Man,
I was never raised around the Amish, so I don't guess I had an opportunity to try it that way.
If I dropped you into Amish country, let's say, that particular area of like Pennsylvania, man, they would think you're such a huge sinner.
No, yeah, for sure.
It'd be hilarious. It'd be like,
and they would be right.
They'd be like, look at that evil man.
He's over there drinking his bourbon.
Look how
everywhere.
evil he is.
All the time. Just
look how he defiled his body.
Yes, he got that old tattoo, nasty ass.
He's working on them Shakira hips.
Right.
Yes.
And he keeps shaking them.
He's got this vanity thing where he keeps, instead of just lifting up barns, he's lifting up weights.
Yes, that's right. Dude, I'm so impressed by those. I've watched videos of where they do the time lapse.
Yeah, their craftsmanship is amazing.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. We, when my son was 12, we went up to Cooperstown. It's the big 12-year-old trip for baseball, or at least one of them. It used to be the most important. I don't know if it still is. I assume it is. And right across from Dreams Park in Cooperstown, down the road from the National Baseball Hall of Fame, there is a little plot of land, and it's got probably 12 or 15 small houses, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1 kitchen common area, right? These were built by the Amish. I didn't know that at the time. I just know we get there, you go in and explore this house, and it's amazing. Like, it's small, but it's got so much room. And you could just tell that it's well put together. It wasn't until about midway through our trip, because it's a week-long trip. That
House fell down.
No.
Oh.
No, the people that run the place were like, yeah, we bought these from the Amish. They came, built them, put them up, boom, we've never had an issue. This place was amazing. Now, I did defile myself there like the Amish would be. They'd be disappointed because I went over, there was a distillery there in Cooperstown that makes their own bourbon. Oh. And I tried to drink it all. It was just once. But apparently they're like, all right, Tug, it's time to go to bed. And I was like, no, it's not.
They had so much, and I tried to get all of it.
I tried to drink as much as I could.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a...
was it good?
It was, well...
I'm assuming?
It was in the beginning, and then after that, I couldn't taste anything, so it didn't matter.
Need to get a hold of some Amish. We're gonna finish off this basement here in the next couple of weeks.
I was so impressed. You could just tell the workmanship is so good.
I'm not even going to mess with Angie's list. I'm going to call Amish list.
Yeah, if they have that, I definitely do.
If you have any Amish friends who live in the North Georgia area, let me know.
Or willing to travel.
Nope, that's it.
Now they do horse and buggy. I mean, it did.
It's going to be a minute for them to get here.
Maybe if they're ex-Amish.
Yeah. They still have the
Amish skills.
They've left They've left the community,
but they still have the work ethic and the craftsmanship.
Yes, I'll take that. Where do I find that? Can I get it on Facebook Marketplace? Can you get it eBay? Where do you get this? Where do you sign up for this? Hey, quickly, really sad. The passing of Brad Arnold.
Bummer.
The singer for Three Doors Down. I mean, they were touring, if I'm not mistaken, they were touring as recently as last summer when
he got the news, when he broke it.
Yeah.
And kidney cancer.
Because a buddy of mine went and saw their show last summer at Ameris Bank Amphitheater in Alpharetta. And it's one of those where you just wake up, you're like, oh, man. Such a great song. They had so many hits, but just the guy that he was more important than anything else.
That part is legend in the rock business. Like how good he was to fans, media, just a regular dude.
Yeah.
And then I think that was part of when he made the announcement, and the reaction to it was, this guy's always been a good dude. Why is he having to deal with kidney cancer at 46 years old and pass at 47?
Yeah. Such a sad story to hear about that. But anyway, let's get to the hook here and give you just a little dose of Brad's work with Three Doors Down. The first big hit,
This was the
Kryptonite.
big one.
Yep, sure was. So you had that. That was a downer, and that was a bummer. The other bummer was Lindsey Vonn.
Yeah, you want to talk about that whole story of you tear your ACL, you still get back out there, and then and again, we watched the training run live because that was, obviously a different hour early in the morning. So we're waiting for the next day. It's like, all right, she's going to get out there on Sunday. Got to get up about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
And she'd already gotten banged up on one of the practice runs.
And the fact that she had to be airlifted for breaking the leg. It's like, oh, man.
After already tearing her ACL, too. Like,
you want to talk about giving it up for your country? Like, I'm gonna give you everything I got.
Her quote was like, I can do it. It's only 90 seconds of pain.
Man, yeah, it's true.
She's tougher than I am.
She's tough.
She's tougher than I am. Yeah, it's just two rough stories that you got over the weekend. But that leads us in to the things that you need to know. First thing to know.
They want you awake, informed, and ready to fight for the facts of the day in the land of the free. Now your sleepyhead nation needs your wake-up call. A mighty dose of reality coming in strong. Soon as the sun cracks the horizon so high, man, we got the story, no time for a lie. Put a boot in your eyes, courtesy of Morning Xtra here.
That did happen. There was a boot in the backside. Now, if you watch MS Now, if you watch any other mainstream outlet, and I would venture to bet, because they don't have someone like Front Office Los on most of the country shows, you're going to hear, wow, they did a really nice little thing over at Turning Point USA, a bunch of country stars. It was really nice, but they had 5 million people, and Bad Bunny had 127 million people. That's going to be the story, but that is not, in fact, the story.
Let me tell you, because MS Now is a propaganda wing of the Democrat Party. It hasn't changed. So, for instance, one of the things they've been running with this morning is Democrat wins in Trump won district in Louisiana. What they don't tell you is that, it was a Trump won district, but that seat was a Democrat seat before and has never ever gone over to the Republicans.
Yeah.
So that's the sleight of hand they play with you.
But it happens with regularity all
the time.
To understand how much that stuff happens to influence you. That's what they're trying to do.
You're never told the full story. And the full story of what happened yesterday was groundbreaking to the point where when I started looking at the numbers in the evening, I felt the need to, make a post about it. But then when looking into more of it in the morning, what you had that went on was Turning Point USA decided we're going to counter-program the NFL based on what the NFL is showing you.
Who's going to do that, Los?
No one does that.
Taking on the behemoth.
College football doesn't do it. The NBA doesn't do it. Nobody ever goes up against the NFL. And they said, here's a soft spot. We're going after the halftime show. Now, here's what the numbers basically break down to. You had 11 million concurrent views that went over and accessed the Turning Point USA halftime show between your Rumbles, your YouTubes, your social medias, 11 million. Now, Nielsen, when it comes to the Super Bowl, counts each one of those, when it's like a household, as 2.5. That there must be this much many people. So that's why you end up getting 130 million viewers for the Super Bowl. It's not 130 million households. That's not how it works. We don't have that.
And it's a best guesstimate.
It is here's how many, 2.5, that's how many we believe we
Here's
have.
the math.
Well, if you're using the same information, you're talking about 22.5 million people that accessed the Super Bowl halftime show from an audience of 130 million, which means the NFL, whether it's they lost or you had a certain amount of people that left, you lost somewhere between 20 and 22% of your total audience that decided to consume both programs or decided I'm going to this other one. That's the crazy number. And I'll give you this rundown. This is from a person who posted named Danielle Jurinsky. Now, Danielle it's not like she's somebody you should know, but she's a bar owner. And she put this out on X. She says, I run a business, a sports bar, JJ's Place. Yesterday, 80% of the bar wanted the Turning Point halftime show. The rest wanted Bad Bunny. To accommodate, I put the TVs on half and half. The 20% started canceling their orders, taking to social media and calling me a racist, being disrespectful to my staff, and leaving 1-star reviews on Google and Yelp. Mind you, 80% who wanted the Turning Point halftime show weren't happy that Bad Bunny stayed on, but they didn't leave me a bad review.
That's the difference.
That's
in the
pretty much how it always sounds.
Always. The
children wanted Bad Bunny, and when it was, listen, it's 50-50, you pick out what you want to watch. That was too much for them.
Yeah.
Because what do?
You can't.
They censor.
That's right. Just like they did on social media for, the last 5 years up until Elon bought.
20% of their audience from the Super Bowl halftime show went to go watch counter programming, which is impossible.
It never happens this way. It never happens this way. So, and a thing that I couldn't help but notice, was that the people that were playing the show were fine. I like all of them just fine. But it wasn't like you had a marquee country act being the anchor on this.
No, not at all.
Brantley just got a new record deal, which, talking with some of his folks over the weekend, they're like, we're hoping this is going to just give him a little bit of a boost. That way, when the new record drops this coming year, we'll be in better shape.
This was really about giving other people an option. And again, as you pointed out, there's not one person that you would think as like, oh, they're a superstar. You don't have a marquee name. Your marquee name is Kid Rock.
That's right.
And Kid Rock is not the person that you build like stadium tours around anymore.
No. Absolutely not. Is he popular? Yes. Do people know who he is? Yes. But when's his last hit?
But the messaging.
Years
and
ago.
For those of you who have not seen it, the messaging was the big deal. Because granted, you still got some songs you would go, oh, I know that song.
Oh, sure.
This guy wrote that song. Somebody else has performed it. But the messaging, it started with Kid Rock. And with the song that that he ended up saying hello to America with. About strippers and partying and ba with the ba. All right. That's what that's all about. By the end, he's announced under his actual name, and he's playing a totally different song. And what the message was about was transformation.
That's right.
And as he's talking about his transformation in the good book at the end, I was like, it was a message.
Absolutely right, dude. You're 100% right in the song. You'll probably know it if you listen to country music.
Whereas Bad Bunny was like, here's all the people crossing your border.
Yeah.
Here's our message.
Yeah.
It's love and unity as we cross your border.
Yeah.
Because that's the final image of what you got.
That's exactly right, dude. 100%. The viewers made a statement. The people that searched out the Turning Point USA content, they made a statement that we don't like what the NFL is doing. We don't like their presentation. We don't like what they're doing. So we're going to search out something that better aligns with our values. They made a statement. And as Los and I talked about a little while ago, they took the time to actually search out. They left where the broadcast was, flipped onto another platform, and consumed the Turning Point USA content. They made a concerted effort to do it. If you watched Bad Bunny, you just left it on the channel. You didn't have to do anything. So were you there for Bad Bunny or not? Nobody knows.
I just know in the house that I watched, everyone was left with,
But the people that searched out the content for Turning Point USA, they actually went and looked for it. I don't know how many people said, you know what, I'm not watching the Super Bowl, but that halftime show, I'm going to go over for that.
Clearly it was a lot. I didn't even watch it till the morning. But people in the house that I was watching were asking about it. Like, isn't there another broadcast? It's like, yeah. But I didn't feel it was my place in somebody else's house to say, hey, I'm going to put Turning Point over here and you can watch Bad Bunny over here.
Yeah. I was just impressed. The fact that the Turning Point, the content, the message was the good Lord's for you. The good book, dust it off, read it. It will change your life. It'll change who you are, change everything about you. And that's the transformation, and I think that Los is talking about with Kid Rock, because Brantley Gilbert has done something actually in his life. I know this about him. He's sober now. He's doing things differently. Like, his goal is to be a good father and a good husband. In the lines of the songs where there were swear words, he didn't even use them. And that, is he perfect? Is he, a flawless man? Of course not. He's transforming, though.
They had an ad with 22.5 million people that concurrently watched it. And now if you go over to YouTube, just YouTube alone is at 19 million views. So that message has gone quite a bit further even the next day.
John is on the phone, and John wants to talk about the Super Bowl halftime show. John, what's on your mind this morning, man? We appreciate you taking the time to listen to the show.
Say hello to my amigos, man. Nothing says snowflake like needing another halftime show. An alternative to what was there.
Do you say the same thing about the Puppy Bowl, John? Because they've been doing that for 25 years.
Yeah, the Puppy Bowl is not in response to how a culture war with the who's performing at the halftime show.
So was the Bud Bowl like really upsetting to you as well? Like the Bud Bowl, you're like, I can't believe Budweiser and Bud Light are going at it again.
No, not at all. But I did hear Kid Rock was lip syncing for his life, so. But
maybe he was. But what's the point, John? What's the point that you're making, though?
My point is that I don't think there needs to be a alternative halftime show because you're mad at who's performing at the halftime show.
I wasn't.
I think that is crazy.
I wouldn't call it mad, John.
I wasn't mad.
I'm not mad at all.
But that's
I'm not mad either. I mean, I was so happy for his team because of the disrespect that he's faced since it was announced. And, I mean, they just went out there and pulled off one of the most amazing halftime shows ever.
What was your favorite song?
My favorite song is the Nuevo, the New York song, but he only did a small part of it.
The New York song.
Just curious.
The 5th or 6th song. I've been a fan of his for years. The dude was bagging groceries 10 years ago. It is a hell of a story.
So to that point, John, that's great. You enjoyed it. That's fantastic. I have no qualms with you enjoying it, but I also enjoyed the halftime show that I watched.
Yeah, I think it's just silly. That's all.
Well,
we lost the culture war this weekend.
Well, what's the problem with liking alternative things? But John, what you're explaining is that John, it's my radio show. You wait now, John. What is the problem with you and I liking different things? Seems very authoritarian that I have to like what you like. And in fact, it wasn't that I disliked it. I just didn't care.
I'm at a loss on this one. Like, I'm glad.
If you don't like what I like,
then you're bad.
Then there's something wrong with you.
Awful.
It's like,
let's say it would have been Jason Aldean for the halftime show of the Super Bowl. How many people like John would have been in revolt? And they would have launched an alternative halftime show. You know it would happen.
Or I don't care. Go watch Friends.
Yeah, right. Who cares?
Go watch an episode of The Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Am I going to be upset about that you chose that? No.
The thing that's interesting to me is I'm glad John enjoyed it.
But the best part about it is that as I've talked to a number of different marketing people, and as they've pointed out, when you lose this percentage of your audience that goes to something different, it's on you, in part because you actually took the largest American audience in television and gave them something in a language they don't even speak and understand to a majority of your audience.
I would ask a corporation, like if somebody runs a corporation, if you lose 10% of your customer base tomorrow, would that be okay? Would you be like, oh, it's no problem?
I would just ask you, when Goodyear comes out and says, this whole tire game's a tire game, we're going to start selling you pudding.
It's Goodyear pudding. Great, best pudding ever had.
You're going to say, that's not my audience.
But I don't want pudding. I need tires for my car. What are you talking about?
No, pudding.
This is the new thing. No, thank you, John, for calling. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you listening. I'm glad you enjoyed. Again, I'm glad you enjoyed the halftime show you saw. I enjoyed the one I saw.
And the fun part about the culture war, John, y'all are still cutting penises off and breasts. Stop telling me about y'all want that culture anymore.
The AMA is like, we can't do this anymore.
We're going to turn men into women and women into men.
Do this anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you won. You did real good with a dude who was speaking Spanish that a majority of the country had no idea what he was saying, to the point where you had droves of people that actually went out and said, I'm going to try something different.
I just don't care about this.
Exactly.
I'm just uninterested.
It just does nothing for me.
I'm uninterested. When we continue, if a Democrat voter had the chance, would they ask for a redo? Next on Extra.
Wherever you are in Georgia, you can stream Extra 106.3 in crystal clear digital with the all-new Extra 106.3 app. Get Extra's live on-air stream in real time, or go back and listen to all your favorite shows, Neil Bortz, or original podcasts, no matter where you go. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, 1 second chance at a time. This week's guest is Holly Waltman, owner and managing partner of the Waltman firm. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
So, you had a long day. You decided to stop for a cocktail on the way home. The next thing you know, you had one too many and you just got pulled over. You need A Second Chance bail bonds. A Second Chance can get you or a loved one out of jail quickly, in most cases, in a matter of hours. A Second Chance bail bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Get help now. Call 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT, or contact them online at atlbail.com.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
You know, Los, we found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee.
How do you prove that?
We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal.
How much can people save when they buy their next vehicle with the honest car guy?
I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000. But it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%. Well, really, it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. The honest car guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, try the honest car guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
Hey Atlanta, it's Mark from Atlanta Safe House. It's 2026 and it's going to be a great year. So let's start the year off with a quiz. So what's the difference in a criminal and a socialist Democrat? Well, a criminal wants to steal your stuff, but a socialist Democrat wants to steal your freedom. So let's talk about safes. The Atlanta Safe House has the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Brands like Browning, Champion, and Fort Knox. With over 500 safes in stock, we are the place to buy a safe. So come by the showroom or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
If you've been waiting for the right time to upgrade your home's comfort, this is it. Central Heating and Air Conditioning is proud to announce the 29th annual Winter White Sale, and it's our lowest pricing of 2026. For a limited time, everything is on sale. Heating and cooling systems and complete home performance solutions with rebates and discounts up to $2,300. Are you dealing with hot or cold spots in your home? Energy bills that just keep climbing? Or unhealthy indoor air affecting your family's comfort? Central has the solution. As your trusted carrier partner, they install industry-leading carrier systems backed by strong warranties and peace of mind that comes with proven performance and efficiency. With 79 years experience, Central Heating and Air Conditioning knows how to design comfort solutions that work, not just today, but for years to come. This is your chance to save big during Central's 29th annual Winter White Sale, but it won't last long. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, delivering carrier comfort for the world we share.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
February is Heart Health Month, and heart problems don't care what month it is, and everybody knows somebody with a heart issue, a parent, maybe you, maybe me, and you have health insurance, so you're covered, right? And, well, maybe until you see the out-of-pocket costs, insurance doesn't pay. If a heart attack or stroke hits, you're suddenly staring at deductibles and missed paychecks, mortgages due, bills don't take sick days. You don't need a second heart attack from opening the mail. Well, nobody wants to start a GoFundMe either to get back on your feet. That's why our listeners now have added a separate heart and stroke plan. It can pay a lump sum cash benefit on the first covered event up to $75,000 paid directly to you. Benefits vary by plan and eligibility. It's usually affordable. You can call Stephen to get the details. It takes about 2 minutes to check your options. The Health Insurance Doctor, solving problems you don't see coming before they happen. HealthInsuranceDoctor.net. Here's the number, 678-523-0759. Ask about the heart and stroke coverage. HealthInsuranceDoctor.net.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Monday, February 9th, and here are your headlines. North Cobb Christian School is highlighting a new education tax program that will allow donors to send money towards scholarships for students while receiving a state tax credit. School leaders say the change will expand access and help families afford private education, and they're encouraging community support for the program as it rolls out. A former Atlanta Braves player has died unexpectedly at the age of 34. The Braves confirmed the death of Georgia native Terrence Gore, who also played for the Royals, Dodgers, Cubs, and Mets. Known as one of baseball's fastest players, Gore was a key part of Kansas City's 2015 World Series and built a career as an elite pinch runner and postseason base-stealing threat. And finally, Georgia lawmakers have introduced a bill targeting high school athlete name, image, and likeness deals, aiming to regulate how student athletes can profit in the state. Sponsors say the proposal would set clear rules and protections for schools and players, balancing opportunities with fairness and educational priorities. Today's weather is partly cloudy with a high of 64 and a low of 44. With the Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
So our friend Marty called in based on Liberal John's estimation, his
authoritative point on
the fact that
you can only like what I tell you to like.
I can't believe there was alternative programming. This is terrible. Like, more options is bad.
I'm going to tell you, if we had all of white America who had decided that they're only watching Hee Haw,
yeah,
well, I get it. Or if you had all of black America that was like, nope, I need to watch some sort of all black programming, it'd be like, all right, well, your choice. Do whatever you feel like.
Yeah, Marty said, didn't hate it, didn't like it, just kind of,
which was what everybody I've been around was like, all right,
whatever,
okay.
We've tried to reach back out to great listener Stephanie, and I don't think we're
told her she's got to make this point on air.
It's so.
We'll
good.
give her until the end of the segment
because she's made a point off of based on what Liberal John said that'll blow you away. We're gonna. I mean, this is one that even John's gonna be like, damn it.
It's a very simple retort.
It is, but it's one that I didn't think of. I'll admit, I'd never even crossed my mind.
Well, I just think about the silliness of you telling me that. Well, you have to like this.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't. I mean, how very by the nature of the state has decided that you have to be of that mentality.
You will like this.
You will be compliant.
And Stephanie's on. Okay, 404-741-1230. Our great listener, Stephanie, at Know It All Mom across the social media platforms is where you can find her, ex notably. Stephanie, good morning.
Stephanie, we're gonna
good morning.
We're gonna take a step back as soon as you make this point. We're gonna let it breathe for people to think about it. So please take the stage.
Well, all of this talk about not having an alternate halftime has stirred up a lot of discussion, but what no one seems to be discussing is that the NFL gave us an alternate national anthem.
Damn.
And I didn't hear any problems with that one.
No. There was. You're telling me there's an alternative national anthem.
As in, like an alternate version of the country.
Like there's a need. Holy cow, Stephanie,
so
thank you.
If you can have one, why can't you have the other? It seems a little bit disingenuous.
Kind of like the hypocrisy.
As most of their arguments.
Yes, like the hypocrisy just doesn't seem to ever ring into their ears of like, maybe this sounds a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Stephanie, for taking the time, because we had to track you down and you were willing to work well on our time schedule, and we thank you for it.
I will make sure my ringer is on going forward.
That's right. Goodness.
Perfect.
Trying to track you down is impossible. I kid. I hope you have a great morning.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Oh, my gosh.
Thanks. See y'all later.
Genius.
We hit the break, and Stephanie had called in and made the point of, oh, so you have a problem with an alternate broadcast for the halftime, but you don't have a problem with an alternate national anthem?
It's unreal, man. It's unreal. It really is. When Bryce said Stephanie's got a great point, I was just like, oh my heavens. How did that not just punch me in the face? How did I miss that?
I was so busy being just completely floored by, you better like this or else.
Yeah, it was very strange. And I love John, and I respect John, and I appreciate the fact that he listens to the show and disagrees with us and calls in, and he's always respectful when he calls in. We obviously don't agree, but that's the beauty. Like, this is an open forum, man. If you feel differently, 404-741-1230, or if you make a great point like Stephanie, we want even more.
Well, I told you, as the only brown man taking part in this discussion, my opinion matters more than everyone else's.
Absolutely. 2.5 times or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's like whatever your opinion was, well, I mean, it's completely out.
That's right.
They don't mind. It's the only one that matters.
You know how many boxes I check? I mean, I got a bunch.
I know more words of Spanish than you do. Okay, I win.
I know.
You have to listen to me on this. My point matters more. I mean, at least that's what I'm told by the other side, right?
Yes,
that's how that game works.
It is, indeed. Unbelievable, man. It really is remarkable that oh, and here's another thing. There's a new thread that's bubbling up on X, formerly Twitter, and it is all the lyrics of I mean, there's not a chance I could read any of them.
No, you can't.
It's a lot of TNA.
It's very sexually suggestive. A lot
of P.
I was told that, I mean, the halftime was for everybody.
This ain't for kids. I can tell you that.
No.
I mean, like, this is really, really, really graphic. And I'm not like some prude. I mean,
But this is what was pushed out, because whenever you have any other act, they have to censor themselves when you play the Super Bowl. But in this case, it was, well, it's in Spanish, so it's fine.
They won't even know what's being said. It won't even matter. The kids will just sing along, I guess. I mean, dude, these are explicit.
Yes, I know.
I mean, whatever the most explicit thing you can think of, it's probably more explicit than that. But I had no idea because
they're just very sexual.
Yes. Yes, they are. Goodness gracious! But it was for everybody. It was a family affair. Now,
yeah, I need my 11-year-old there with a scroll with the closed caption going.
Oh my Lord! No, you couldn't have done it. But
figure out why mommy needs to come over.
What does that mean?
Yeah, well, baby, I can't tell you. We're turning the channel. That's what, is it because you wouldn't put that on in front of your children?
I'm going over to the guy who's not talking about, mommy, I'm going to lick this.
Yeah, and TNA and P and D and all that. But here's the other thing. The other thing. The alternative programming did something that the Democrats cannot have. Because if you listen to the name of Jesus or anything to go along with the Christian faith, then you won't be reliant on the government, so we can't have that. That's the biggest issue right there, Los. It's not racism. It's not any of the isms. It's not any of the things that they threw out as this is the reason that we don't like the alternative programming. For the Democrats, and I'm not saying Liberal John on this, I don't know where he feels. I don't know how he feels about this, but I know the Democrat Party, having been commandeered by communists, hate religion, hate faith. Because if you're faithful, if there's something bigger than you, then you don't need the government. And they can't have that.
Well, and that was the overall underlying and overt message of what you got throughout the entirety of the Turning Point broadcast.
Exactly.
And honestly, if you got it, great. There were people that didn't. There were people that like, wait a minute, what is Kid Rock doing? Because they were talking about his transformation. And then you got some other stuff that was just entertaining throughout, but that was what the story was.
Which is, if you want to boil art down, how many times have we seen art, whether in film, on Broadway, in music, talking about a life transformation over and over and over and over again? It happens with regularity. And you could use your own examples of people transitioning in all kinds of ways that are considered art. Yet this transformation can't have that one. That one's bad.
And that one's bad?
Yeah. We'll accept a lot, but not that.
Listen, they went up against, and I don't know how you can be this, like, are you intentionally being obtuse to the fact that there are videos, countless videos now online of people at sports bars, and all they're doing as you have these performances going on is just sitting there like, what the hell? I mean, I still remember because we had it was actually the Kimmer Show that covered it last week because of when it fell. So 2004 Super Bowl, it's actually 2003 season, 2004 Super Bowl. It's January of that year. And that was the wardrobe malfunction with Janet Jackson. Do you realize, first off, I'm at this place called the Dugout in Addison. I can tell you where I was. Enjoying the performance, thought it was really cool. Saw the stuff, obviously, with JT and Janet. I'm like, you've got these two icons. Yeah, sure. That's like, remember, Timberlake is so hot right now because now he's on his own and he's blowing up.
And Janet's legend.
And that happened, and the entire bar screamed out like, oh my, did y'all just, because it was a split second. Everyone starts screaming about, oh, did you just see that? And it created this massive buzz throughout the entirety of the place. And then all the throwing star jokes and everything else like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't exist yesterday when you were watching all these videos of what was going on around the country. Yeah. It was, I don't know what the hell this guy is saying. I mean, looks all right. What is he saying?
Yeah. We had many people talking about the fact that he doesn't speak proper Spanish to begin with. So it's like some hodgepodge.
It's a hodgepodge muddled
and we had a caller that was saying that exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not even.
It's Slanglish.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, whatever. Luis called in, said it was
Well, I know, exactly. It was just, okay.
Last year, Kendrick Lamar, much better, in Luis's opinion.
And you know what? I remember coming on this show and saying I knew about 3 or 4 songs, and I said, it wasn't for me, but I kind of liked it, thought it looked cool, thought it sounded cool. And then the other, you know who was the first person to tell you, hey, that wasn't for you, and it was awesome? Kid Rock on Bill Maher.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll find it during the break.
Yeah.
Kid Rock on Bill Maher was shocked because he thought, I'm going to bring this up with,
I'm going to paint him in a bad light.
And Kid Rock is like, no, I thought it was awesome. It's like, why? He's like, because it was meant for a different audience, and Kendrick Lamar hit it out of the park.
Yeah. Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
Except he did it in English that everyone could understand. How does people not understand this is a marketing opportunity, and you actually took the largest American audience in television and gave them something they didn't understand, and then tried to tell them if you didn't like it or you were, that you're racist.
We'll find that audio that Los is talking about, and it's good to have an Olympian to cheer for. Tell you about that person, that Olympian, next on Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Monday, February 9th. The Seattle Seahawks are the Super Bowl champions after beating the New England Patriots 29-13 last night. Running back Kenneth Walker was named the game's MVP after rushing for 135 yards. Kicker Jason Myers set a Super Bowl record, hitting 5 field goals in the game. The Seattle Seahawks defense sacked Patriots quarterback Drake May 6 times in the ball game. Over the weekend around the NFL, Atlanta Falcons pass rusher James Pierce Jr. arrested in Florida on a multitude of charges, including 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated stalking, fleeing or eluding police, and resisting an officer. The incident stems from a domestic violence dispute in which Pierce Jr. reportedly crashed his car into his ex-girlfriend's car a multitude of times. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Ain't nothing beats the cozy comfort of a warm fireplace on a cool Georgia night. Tug here for Chimney Solutions. But before you light that fire, make sure the chimney's clean, safe, and ready with my friends at Chimney Solutions. Atlanta's trusted chimney experts for over 25 years. Did you know that a dirty and damaged chimney could lead to dangerous carbon monoxide leaks or even chimney fires? Don't take that chance. Chimney Solutions certified technicians use state-of-the-art equipment to ensure your home and family are protected. They also specialize in gas log conversion, fireplace remodeling, and energy-efficient chimney caps that keep pests and rain out and heat in. From cozy cottages to luxurious homes, thousands of Atlantans trust Chimney Solutions to keep the heart of their home burning bright. Visit chimneysolutions.com to read actual customer testimonials. Chimneysolutions.com. Chimney Solutions, keeping Georgia homes safe, warm, and beautiful for over 25 years.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We are a family-owned, operated, independent local company. We have over 15 years of artificial grass design, installation, and sales experience. From premium artificial lawns and backyards, custom putting greens, sports fields, hardscape, drainage. We do both residential and commercial. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
A new year means new opportunities to secure your retirement goals. At Masterplan Retirement Consultants, we help you start fresh with holistic retirement planning to create a personalized retirement roadmap designed with you and for you. Our boutique team serves you with fiduciary care, ensuring every step moves you closer to a confident, sustainable retirement. As we all know, the best retirement asset is peace of mind. Make 2026 the year you take control with confidence. Schedule your complimentary consultation today at masterplanretire.com. Masterplan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Masterplan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Masterplan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
You and your buddy, you've been through a lot with each other. The ups and the downs. He's been with you every morning, noon, and night. You've traveled the world together. Heck, he was even with you on your first big date. But have you noticed he's struggling lately? Not performing on the job. He can't even stand up straight anymore. He's wanting to cry out for help, but just doesn't know how. He needs Dr. Deal and Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They can give him the gift of good posture this year, help him stand proud and become all he was meant to be. Now, take him by the hand, look him in the eye and say, "I appreciate you, little fella, and we're going to get you some help." We're going to call 404-777-1911. We're going to visit stopmyed.com. We are going to say goodbye to erectile dysfunction forever. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. It's a hard conversation to have, but it's one worth having. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Online at stopmyed.com.
The wait is over. The Atlanta Braves 2026 gate giveaways are here, and this season is loaded with must-have items. Fans can expect incredible giveaway series, including the legendary Alumni Collection, featuring some of your favorite Braves greats, and the crossover jersey collection, bringing Braves style to basketball, football, hockey, and soccer jerseys. And that's not all. The giveaways keep coming with some brand new favorites, like the Bobble Card Series, part bobblehead, part baseball card, plus a Hawaiian shirt, a cowboy hat, and so much more. And you know we can't forget about the kids. Every Sunday home game features a Kids Gate giveaway with special items like sunglasses, just like the players wear, mini Michael Harris II and Drake Baldwin bobbleheads, and the crossover sports jerseys come in kids sizes too. Check out the full giveaway schedule and grab your tickets now at braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves baseball. We are Braves country.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
The Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6.
I know. I have so many that I couldn't seal the deal. I could have, but I didn't. It's another motorcycle ride, and it was a chick who was all over me.
How can you not get a chick that once you get her on a vibrating machine?
And she had the greatest rack I've ever seen in my life, and she made sure that she was pressing into
Hold me.
Can I drop you off at your boyfriend's house?
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10. The discussion of you must watch the Super Bowl halftime show was the comment from a guy that calls in all the time. We call him Liberal John, and we love John. We just have a difference of opinion with him, and that's the thing I think is great about this show is that when John calls in, we get him on as much as we can. And if we can't, we even bring whatever he's told to producer Bryce to the show to debate it and to talk about it. But Bill, off of all these are coming off of the discussion we had with John. Bill said, hey, one thing I've not heard y'all talk about is we just didn't watch the Super Bowl at all, me and my buddies. We big football fans, but we just decided not for us. Not going to watch.
This game did lack that interest, and part of the thinking was that this wasn't a Tom Brady or a Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl. This was largely a team on the West Coast that had been good all year long. They basically had played the championship against the LA Rams 2 weeks before, and a New England team that's, let's face it, it's kind of hard to root for.
Yeah,
because of their history.
Yeah.
So I get it. Some people just decided I'm checking out.
He said, even though we're big football fans, we just checked out for probably the reasons you mentioned.
I watched because I watch all of them.
Yeah, sure.
And I was waiting for when it was time for me to check out. It was getting close, and then by the time you had like the pick six, I'm like, all right, we're good. Let's pack it up, get the kids together. Let's go home.
Let's ease back down the road. Yeah, so great discussion this morning. We've had several callers, and everybody's making really, really good points, and we appreciate you. But let's go back to the whole you must watch. You can't have an alternate halftime show. You can't do anything else. Kid Rock is the one. He was kind of the marquee name because if you look at the success of Turning Point's halftime show, it wasn't because they had superstars. Kid Rock was the biggest star, and he's not had a hit record in some time.
It was in English.
Well, yeah. And
okay. Let's make this lowest common denominator. You could understand it for a majority of Americans. That's all. That's what it comes down to. It's not because of race. It's not because of, I don't like bad. It's because you could understand it.
And if you're looking for a positive message, they had one.
But enough people tuned in that had no idea that there was a message.
Right, they may not have known what was coming.
Didn't know.
But they certainly got
I read enough people that completely missed it.
Yeah, got enough, though.
But I want to take you back to last year. So this was on Bill Maher. And Bill Maher has Kid Rock in studio. And so this, you know how he does we're going to do the one-on-one interview.
Yeah.
Then we're going to do the forum discussion.
Yeah.
After he does his monologue. So he has Kid Rock in studio, and here's the one-on-one discussion. And he thinks he's going to have this moment because the amount of people that didn't care for Kendrick Lamar. And as we talked about it on the show, not for us, I thought, kind of cool. I know some of his songs.
Yep.
I'll know a lot of his stuff because my daughter uses it in Instagram videos. It's like, okay, I get that song. I know that song. That song's pretty cool. So for everything he played, I'd say about half of it. I was like, I know that one. Yeah, It's cool. I like that. Some people took it into, it wasn't culturally for me. It didn't say anything to me. And Bill Maher thought, that must be all white people who think that.
Kid Rock's definitely going to be like that.
Right. Here's what Kid Rock said when he was asked about it.
What did you think of this year's Super Bowl? I mean, you mentioned DEI. People complained about that.
I mean, to put it nicely, it wasn't my cup of tea, but I got to respect it. And here's why. I grew up emulating hip-hop, all things hip-hop, breakdancing, DJing, graffiti, rapping. And so I understand the culture a little bit more than most. And when I say most, of course, I mean white people. So, watching it, I'm like, after there's a lot of things going through your head, everyone's like, that sucked, this, that, and the other. I'm like, this kid pretty much came out figuratively with both middle fingers in the air, doing what he does for the people who love what he does, unapologetically. And I don't think he gives a frog's fat ass what anyone thinks about.
Yeah.
So he points it out, and this is my point in general. If you have the Foo Fighters and you have a portion of your audience, let's say a portion of your black audience or your Hispanic audience that goes, yeah, I'm not really into rock. Okay, yeah, it's going to do what it's going to do. If you were to come out and it's Kendrick Lamar and you have your older white audience, it's like, I don't get it. I was like, okay, fine, that's going to happen. It's going to happen with whatever you pick.
Yeah, no, you're not going to please everybody. It's impossible.
Unless you pick a language that none of them understand.
None of them speak.
Across the board. Can you understand how dumb that sounds?
Yeah, that's right.
Like you're already selecting somebody where, hey, there's going to be a portion of my audience that really just doesn't get it. You know what? If you had Depeche Mode, I'd be like, what is this? I don't understand what we're doing here. Yeah. If you were to have Radiohead, I'd be like, this is the greatest thing ever. Knowing that a good 3/4 of the audience does not get Radiohead.
Right.
Awesome. Get it. But at least there's a portion of it that understands it.
Well, at least they understand the language they're speaking.
And for everyone who's like, oh, well, there's a large amount of Hispanic people in this country. You know how many Hispanic people don't speak Spanish? Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Not just you, though, but my best man at my wedding,
yes.
Jason Perez. Parents both from Mexico, came to the United States illegally. He was raised in Texas, went to high school in Chicago. Guess what he doesn't speak?
Spanish.
Yes, he doesn't speak Spanish. Both his mother and father both spoke Spanish. Fluent speakers. Fluent. He's not. He can't speak a word, and he doesn't like hot and spicy food.
Okay,
Still blows me away.
I got to draw a line.
Well, I know, right? There's that may be a bridge too far.
What's the matter with you, man?
And you know where he's from? You know where he's raised? San Antonio.
Yeah, something wrong there. But that's my point about this entire thing. And even a guy like Kid Rock, who 1 year later would be doing the alternate broadcast, is telling you, no, that part was pretty cool because he didn't care about he knew what his audience was going to like, and that's what he delivered. And you can say the same thing about Bad Bunny. My whole point is, if you're upset that I didn't like it or I didn't care for it, I'm like, didn't do anything for me. Then the problem is because it was all in Spanish, which is my reasoning, you're then saying, well, what are you, racist? No, because I don't speak Spanish. The same way I don't watch French films.
or Spanish soap operas.
No, none, not at all. The novellas that my grandmother loves, I don't watch any of them. You know why? It's not because I don't like Spanish people.
Or it's really hot women because they have
really
plenty of them.
Hot women who they're all busty. Oh, I can't stand that. No, it's because I don't understand them.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
That's all.
Dude, it's funny that Kid Rock said Kendrick Lamar had the double middle fingers up because that's kind of what the performers on the alternate halftime show did. They're like, we don't care what you think. Now, they did it in a much softer way because they talked about the Lord, they talked about the Bible, did all those things. But they basically did exactly that. Said, we don't care what you think about what we're doing. We're going to do it anyway. And we're going to be really successful doing it.
And they actually moved because the activation, they actually moved a larger amount of audience.
And that's the most impressive part, that you had to search it out. It wasn't just there.
And then they kept going back to watch it. They're coming up on 20 million.
20 million. It's unbelievable. It's been a great show. Look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. Hope you'll stick around for Beck, Clay, and Buck in the local afternoon show because the camera's going to be wide open about the Super Bowl this afternoon without question from 3 until 6. For Los and Bryce, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Love listening to Extra all week? Make sure you're here this weekend for even more great local shows from across the community. The All Four Seasons Home Show, Ben Burnett, Janelle King, and so many more. Listen to them this weekend or anytime on the all-new Extra 106.3 app.
Ready to sell your home fast and for top dollar? Trust Design to Sell. Staging and interior design experts recognized as one of the top 10 staging companies in the nation. From stylish redesigns to full-service staging, Design to Sell creates spaces buyers fall in love with. Faster sales, better offers. That's the power of great design. Call 678-505-1433 or visit homedesign2cell.com and ask for the fan special.
Let's be honest. All cars and all car dealerships are not created equally. So when you're buying a new Toyota, you're not buying a vehicle, you're protecting a major investment. That's why where you buy matters. For over 50 years, Marietta Toyota served our community with the reputation built on straight answers, real accountability, and doing business the right way, proudly here since 1975.